First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this what we've all been waiting for? We are back with another episode of the three. Hey, silence while I'm doing my intro, young man. You a guest here.
My bad, brother. My bad. Go ahead.
Take your shoes off, sit down, and you will be addressed. We are back with another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast. I am one of your hosts, AJ. Who I got with me today?
Y'all already know who it is, your boy Hill. And he'll go Hill regardless, baby. It's gonna be a lot of healing tonight.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. We back with the energy that they love. Where can they find us, Hill?
You catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. We got a reoccurring guest tonight.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey man, it's your boy Jay Bess from Str8ToThePoint Podcast, man. Look, they've been calling me out over the past couple of weeks, and I've been waiting for the invitation. I've been waiting on it, and I finally got it, so it's time to go at it. But y'all can catch me on TikTok at Str8ToThePoint, on IG at Str8ToThePoint Podcast, on YouTube at Str8ToThePoint5, and then on Facebook at Jalen Bess.
Oh man. So it's been a while, but we still got supporters out there.
Oh, lovely.
That is true. Specifically hit us up and was like, hey, listen, man, I want to hear y'all take on this particular subject. I'm like, all right, man, just send it in and let's get to it. So let me go ahead and get the screen shared to it. I didn't hit the wrong button. See what happened?
Boy, he rusty.
Yeah, this is what happened when Hill produced. Yeah. Let's go ahead over here and let's get to it. There's that.
Well, would you look at that? We're starting off the show with a nice little, as they call in the industry, a pregnant pause.
Oh, I didn't. This whole time, I'm over just looking at the play. But look, it's play back. There you go.
Cooper's fouled from behind, and now Cooper is up and in Jamerson's face. Mick Cronin is pointing to the tunnel for him to get off the floor and get out of the game. Cronin just kicked him out. He wanted to be a Michigan State manager.
All right.
So we just saw, after a hard foul, Mick Cronin toss out his own player. And who want to start us off? Who want to give their thoughts first on this? Because let's hear yours, Jalen, because I got thoughts too.
I got you. I think that sometimes we have arguments and debates, and it's like either right or you're wrong. But I think in this situation, I can see both sides of the argument. For everyone that is against him for throwing this player out, I mean, you embarrassed him in front of everybody, right? In front of the fans, in front of the nation, right? Because it's on TV. It's not a good look, and then that can also have a domino effect in the locker room, right? Players might not be down with that. Like, hey man, you kicked out our boy, and they can say he was hustling. You can say that was a hustle play if you want to, right? You can somewhat say that. So I can see that side of it. But me being I have coached before, and sometimes as a coach, you just can't make it seem like you let stuff slide, sometimes you got to put your foot down and do certain things so that people can respect you and say, oh, he don't run that kind of program. He don't run that kind of ship, right? So Mick Cronin throwing him out is almost making him say, okay, we don't do that here. We don't do that at UCLA, right? We don't give these hard fouls. Mind you, the game was practically over, right? It's late in the second half. This could have led to an injury, right? So I can see why he said, you know what, I'm put my foot down and get out. I can see that. But on the flip side, look where you are in front of a national audience on TV, in front of all these fans, and you kind of embarrass them. So I can see both sides of it. But if I had to lean to one side, I'm gonna lean to the coach's side. I'm not mad at it. You cannot say he allows that at his school. You can't say that.
I'm glad. I'm glad, and I actually forgot that you did do some coaching, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that you did bring that coaching perspective because I think a lot of people, really don't have that perspective in itself. Because my initial thoughts was, I 100% at the initially thought I agree with the coach. I'm like, bro, y'all down 25, bro. Like I get it. I want to see the hustle and all that, but at the end of the day, he could have got injured. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we not about to do is be down 25 and be one of those teams that's out here injuring people. You know what I'm saying? Now he went on to apologize later after he actually did see the replay, and he was like, I might have, overreacted. Cool. The damage was already done.
Mm-hmm.
The way that when I took a step back, because that's my initial thoughts, I'm like, okay, cool. I commend the coach. I'm with you. Once I heard Jalen Rose and Jamal Mashburn's perspective, former player perspective, prominent player perspective, they was like, okay, listen, bro, like you showing me up, you're embarrassing me.
And
You didn't have to do that part, and you're gonna lose some credibility from that part. So now once again we had a coach's perspective, now we got a player's perspective. So now when I see that perspective, I'm like, okay, he might have took it a little too far, but I get it. We just seen a couple fights, like massive brawls in college basketball. Like we don't want to see another one on our watch. So if they wasn't gonna throw you out, we down 25. I gotta send a message. So I'm
so
not that upset at it.
the only thing is, like, to me, there's ways that you can send a message without doing everything that Mick Cronin did. You
Okay.
can you're down 25. You can pull that player and sit him down. And you can tell him, hey, we don't do that. You can have that conversation. There's other ways that you can chastise your player and let them know, hey, we don't want to do that. But also my thing is, like you mentioned, Jalen, like, you have to toe a fine line, because coaches also talk about, oh, we never give up, we play hard till the clock strikes 000. And so yes, you don't want to do those hard fouls, oh, because someone could get hurt. But in those close games, we've seen people do hard fouls and don't nobody get tossed, because, like, hey, guess what, we don't want to give up this, or we want to send a message. We want to send a message that we're also a physical team, that you just can't be doing certain things and stuff like that. So I think that Mick Cronin coming in after the fact says, oh, I may have overreacted. To me, that's like those apologies where it's like, oh, I apologize if I hurt your feelings. Like, no, it's a reason you're apologizing, because you hurt my feelings. So it's not, oh, I'm apologizing because I may have overreacted. No, you overreacted. And one of the things that we always talk about coaches is, you have to, like, as a coach, you have to remain level-headed at all times, because you are the one that's going to be guiding us. You're the one that we're putting, our, like, we're hitching our wagon to you, and you're supposed to be leading us, and you're supposed to be that head figure. You're the one that's supposed to maintain your composure through all settings. And so I'm not saying that coaches can't lose their composure, because we've seen it. But in this situation, you're losing your composure because, oh, we've seen all these other fights happen. But you should also have instilled in your team, like, hey, nah, like, when this happened, my team is gonna go, like nobody's gonna run off the bench. That player, he's gonna come back to the sideline. I'm gonna sit him down and I'm gonna talk to him right there. Doing all those antics, pointing to the sideline. No, you don't need to do that, because there's other ways that can do it. And then again, like I said, it really wasn't as, like, bad as it looked from, the perspective of, I guess, wherever Mick Cronin saw it. And so
You've seen worse. You've seen worse flagrant fouls. You've seen worse.
I disagree, y'all. I mean, it just because it wasn't worse, don't mean this wasn't a bad foul. Like,
Oh, still a bad foul. To say,
oh, I'm
at
not
that
saying
point,
it
you've
wasn't a bad
seen
foul. What I'm
far
saying is,
worse.
like, that foul to, like, to garner that response from Mick Cronin. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't feel like what happened, like, really was warranted for what this player did. Yes, like I said, you down 25, pull him.
Okay.
But to do all that extra stuff and try like you said, showing him up, especially and I hate to say it, in this day and age, like coaches ain't about to be doing that to no professionals, and you paying these dudes like professional. It's gonna be like a lot. Mick Cronin, you already like been circling a whole bunch of teams. If players saying that, like, man, I ain't gonna be dealing with that shit.
Yeah.
That's why I thought the media response would have been praised with in this NIL era, because that kind of was an old school method. I thought the media,
But
response would have
here's
been
my thing.
praised.
It's only a couple of old school coaches that could have got that off. Even in the olden days, hey, Mick Cronin, not you, not
Yeah.
you.
You got to
You
have a
might
certain
you
stature
you
and a
might
certain.
you might have got PJ Carlissimo.
you hey Jay, you know about the PJ Carlissimo story?
I don't, but I don't from your reaction. I'm assuming it's real good.
Hey, when you get off, please just look that up.
Look up PJ Carlissimo incident.
And Latrell Sprewell incident.
Oh, wait, when he choked his coach.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know. Okay. I ain't know the
Yeah.
name of the coach. I know the player that did it. I ain't know the name of the coach. Okay, I got you.
Choke.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. Yeah.
With the yeah, see, and that's what I mean. Like you don't do that. Like a lot of that stuff don't happen to a lot of professional coaches. Yeah, you might still see it in football because that's just kind of the culture that some of the football stuff is. But even then, like a lot of times it was Saban doing stuff like that. When you had Brian Kelly over there turning fire engine red on the sidelines, he lost his team every time.
Yeah. I feel
Ended up, it is what got him up out of Notre Dame. It's what got him up out of LSU. The only reason why he was able to pull that stuff off over at Cincinnati is because it was Cincinnati at the time.
I'm laughing at the chat, right?
Ah, man, I'm missing it.
My fault. Oh, fault. I'm pulling up on the screen. Spree gonna have to choke him. You got Detroit. I'm just thinking about that Kings of Comedy joint where Cedric said.
Cedric said it, yeah.
I choked the shit out. Oh man, we got that out the way. That's fine. Let me see what's up. I mean, we got a combine this week, fellas.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
This is when the off season start ramping up. And like we haven't gotten any on-field drills right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
getting the rumors though.
We getting them rumors is starting to heat up. Dudes is doing interviews. Y'all got any players y'all think that's gonna make themselves some money at the combine coming up once we get these on-field drills popping?
I got two low-hanging fruits that I just want to get out the way.
Okay, as long as it ain't none of my players, then go ahead, do your thing.
My first low-hanging fruit, Jamal McCoy.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
If it's reported that he's supposed to do some drills. You know what I'm saying? Like he's supposed to be fully recovered and everything. Now, if he go out there and do those drills and showcase that he's healthy, we're gonna have some conversations coming up in April.
Yeah.
Like they know his film is like that.
For sure. I actually saw a post. I wish I screenshotted credit the poster. And at first I thought it was hyperbole, but in the essence of what's happening because of what Jamal McCoy's take was, I'm like, I can kind of see that. It was like, is Jamal McCoy about to be 2026 Jamar Chase? And I understand that sounds hyperbole, but you think about it, Jamal McCoy was like that tape before that injury, that was top 5 tape.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if he Chase didn't come he just said, I'm doing pro day, that's it. Which was very, it's worth because it was a different time, COVID and all of that. Yeah. But if Jamal McCoy come out here and he knock out these agility drills and he show that he can be fluid,
we're gonna have a conversation.
Oh boy.
Conversation.
Oh boy. Now, it's gonna be some people that are like.
Now I know it's early in the process. Do y'all have a definitive wide receiver 1 in this draft yet?
I have him on my list.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
I'm going with Jordan Tyson.
You're going with Jordan Tyson. Stay there.
So
AJ, who's yours? Just if you
I'm going Carnell Tate.
Okay. It's understand.
I tried to not talk. I tried to let you
know.
get yours out.
I didn't.
But
I didn't believe. I didn't think you. I'm glad, but that's my name. But go ahead.
And the reason why is I love Jordan Tyson,
Mm-hmm.
but he got to come out and show that he's healthy.
Yes, that's 100%.
And one of those things that I've always preached: healthy in college normally leads to healthy in the pros. Normally, because it's football, you can't make a safer cigarette. You're gonna get banged up. But when you have like a lot of these lower body injuries, especially that chain of firing off, like you got hamstrings and you got ACLs and stuff like that.
Translates.
That can kind of start being stuff that lingers around. So I'm worried about that. I love Jordan Tyson as a player. That the boy's cold.
Yeah.
But because of those injuries, it actually even if he comes out and shows he's healthy right now, it still makes him my wide receiver 3 right now.
Ooh, okay.
Because I got Makai Lemon as a close second.
Makai Lemon, that's a nice.
Yeah.
But to me, that's two different kind of receivers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at you for putting them above him, but he's more of a yards after catch guy. Get it to him, quick game, let him make something happen. Jordan Tyson more so deep threat, kind of that guy. So it's two different kinds, but if that's what floats your boat, then I'm not mad at you for putting Makai Lemon over Jordan Tyson.
That's the reason why I had Cardell Tate as one of my low hanging fruit guys that can make some money right here. Because if he go out, because he's a big body.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can go out there and showcase that athleticism, and he more so don't look like a big clunky motherfucker, like,
and
he can go out there and make some money. He can solidify himself as being wide receiver 1.
The thing that I like about Carnell Tate also is I think there's still like more big play ability that we couldn't get to see, because again, like I said, he was out there with Julian Sand, and I'm not taking anything away from Julian Sand, but it was like Andy Dalton, where a lot of them deep balls, he's slowing down, coming back for, and it kind of, like I said, you didn't really get to see everything. And again, like I said, that's nothing against Julian Sand because he's a young quarterback. He will grow, he will get better. But
quarterback.
Nobody worried about Craig Krenzel 2.0. But so I just think that Carnell Tate, he is going to be able to kind of do those things. And because he's not like, he is a big receiver, he can come out there and run a 4.5, but look fluid in agility drills also. Oh, they gonna be cool because he can play above the rim. He can do all those things, and he also comes from that pedigree. So I think that people are kind of really gonna do those things, and some of those teams that are at the top, we're looking that may end up going to wide receiver. They might be like, okay, yeah, we can do that.
That's why I thought you were going right there. Go ahead.
That's the biggest thing. Like, you can talk about like what he did in college and everything like that, but to me, you just being at Ohio State gives you, that we might want to draft him. You look at what Emeka Egbuka did last year, at least early in the season, kind of fell off. But you got Olave, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., you got all these receivers that came from Ohio State, so that kind of gives you a little boost right there. Like, you was one of them ones at Ohio State. Oh yeah, I'll take you top 10 without hesitation. So I think he will go above Jordan Tyson. Like, I would not be shocked if he's the first receiver off the board in the draft.
And the fact that we are wide receiver we showcase the fact that we are wide receiver
so I had this argument all the time, right? Y'all have the depth, right? Y'all have more.
That's all you need.
But LSU got 3 in the top 10 right now as we speak. One of them should be in the top 10, but he kind of fell off, in my opinion. Brian Thomas Jr. But you got
so Jamar in the top 10 no more.
Hey, we ain't falling off.
He fell off for sure. But
we ain't falling off.
Jamar, Justin, and Malik got hurt, but I can make an argument Malik is the top 10. So that's 3 in the top 10. I'm saying y'all have the depth, but I think LSU has the, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. They have the
quality. They have but the only thing I can say is the thing about Ohio State, you can track them back to Michael Thomas. So not only is it just they have the quantity, it ain't like their quantity ain't quality. You get what I'm saying?
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
Like people are also like you just talk about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. People have been putting JSN as the number one. I disagree, but people have been putting JSN in that number one spot already. So again, you start adding that up, and then you, like I said, you throw out Carnell Tate this year. It's like a constant roll, and then guess what? Next year comes Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to say about the Ohio State wide receivers, though, like all the guys that you can mention, like I said, Gary Wilson, Chris Olave, JSN, Emeka Ibuka, they all showed you more on the next level that they did that they couldn't necessarily show because it's just so many.
It's like Calipari point guards.
Exactly. It's like I didn't know you could do that. Like you said, like prime example, JSN was just looked at just like a slot receiver.
Until he had that 300-yard game, but we'll be a little modest, I guess.
But let's go ahead. Go.
I got so
it was my low hanging fruit, though.
Right. So I'm gonna kind of like we talked about certain positions. I'm gonna go Eli Stowers. Everybody talking about Kenyon Sadiq, and he's tight end one. But the way if Eli Stowers get out there and move.
Where he from?
Vanderbilt.
Okay.
So if Eli Stowers get out there and move, he's going to really start going up draft boards and, put himself in that conversation because as we've seen, a lot of these offenses now, they're trying to run things where they can get a tight end that can show that, hey, if we could keep him on the field at all times, it gives us that mismatch. They're trying to run these offenses. So I think that if Eli Stowers can go out there, he weighs in, at a nice size, but still gets out there, moves well, shows, fluid hands and stuff like that. I think he's going to shoot up draft boards and could, easily put himself in that, tight end 2 conversation and possibly be a day 2 pick. And that's some good money right there.
100%. And why wouldn't you? Right? Look at the past 2 drafts. 3 tight ends that came out of these drafts that made noise in their first year, right? Mm-hmm. Brock Bowers, of course, we all know what he did. In his past year was Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. So why not take a tight end round 2, right? Eli Stowers would be a good option too. So I'm not mad at that.
And I'm going blank on the name. What's that tight end name from Buffalo? The tight end 2.
Kincaid or Dawson Knox?
Not Dawson Knox. It's another one.
It's Kincaid.
So Dawson Kincaid.
Oh,
it's the other one.
The third one. Yeah, I know, I'm blanking on his name. I know
because he the one he took Dawson Knox spot as the tight end, the blocking tight end, because everybody trying to do a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. A lot of these tight ends can make some money. We could have, like I said, we could have had a whole section on the tight ends, like you say, the boy from Georgia as well. Depth,
Oscar Delp.
Yeah, it's a lot of these dudes that can make some money.
Bryce Trigg from Baylor. Yeah, it's a couple of dudes. Jalen got one.
Jalen got one.
Oh, my other players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about a lot of offense. So let me talk about Jordan Tyson, right? Jordan Tyson, 6'2", 200, right? Injuries, like you said, that is the biggest problem. Freshman year, he played 8 games, right? The next year, he didn't even play. So they had a red shirt him. He came back next year, played a full year, right? And then last year, he had 9 games, right? So injuries is a problem. But one thing about him is he plays everywhere on the field. He can play slot and outside. He's also a contested catch winner. So you throw it up to him, he can make a play. One thing that I've seen somebody point out is his run blocking. In 2024, his run blocking was stout. It was good, right? It was good for tape. But last year, people believe that his run blocking took a decline because of injuries. Like he didn't want to, give it his all in run blocking because it could cause an injury. Like that and that's very, his injury history, I can somewhat understand. But one thing that I do want to point out is this year against Texas Tech, he injured both his hamstrings in that game and still had 10 catches for 105 and a touchdown, with both hamstrings being injured. So that to me right there kind of makes him stand out to me. But then we're talking about offense. Let's go defense. And D Hill, I think you want to hear this because I think this is going to be a future Cowboy, I believe. I'm going to go with Georgia linebacker CJ Allen. Allen, I was watching him play. I want to say it was Florida. And I'm watching Georgia. I'm like, who is this dude making all these tackles? Who is this dude? Like, he's literally standing out on my screen. He is 6'1", 235, and he's only 20. So he turns 21 in March. So that, to me, right there, kind of gives him a little bonus if you want to draft him because he's so young. Every year he started 11 games his freshman year. He had 41 tackles, but he gets better every year. Sophomore year had 76 tackles, and then junior year he had 88 tackles, which is the past year. The Cowboys did have a formal meeting with CJ Allen already, so they already got their eyes on him. I think that would be a great pick for y'all. He models his game after Roquan Smith. And one thing that the Georgia DC said is that Allen, he runs the show on the field, right? Unless he gives him a specific like call, he gonna run the show. And that to me shows his smartness. He knows the game. He knows where to be at all times. And they compared him to Nakobe Dean. And once again, like I said earlier, with you being at Ohio State as a receiver, you kind of have that, that clout already. Well, he's a Georgia Bulldog. We know what Georgia Bulldog defensive players can do at the next level. So I think y'all should definitely pull the trigger on CJ Allen for sure.
And I'm well, you threw me the layup for as far as the Cowboys. That's the type of linebacker I want, bro. I want a traditional Mike, a cerebral, heady, high IQ linebacker. That's somebody that can get everybody in the place to be. Like I said, I don't give a damn about the the measurables, the athleticism. I need your high IQ at this point, bro. I done just had some of the worst linebacker play I've ever seen in my life. I need this right here. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Sonny Styles is my guy, Ohio State. Anthony Hill, I do like Anthony Hill as well. For Texas, Jacob Rodriguez, he's just a playmaker, But speaking of linebackers though, Jake Galladay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As another, I don't think he'll play the mic. I think he'll play the wheel. I think his athleticism is his calling card. But I think he can out there showcase, if he go out there and showcase his athleticism and his ability, I think he can make some money. These linebackers is deep, but they're all different. It's like we can go through a list of linebackers and all of them have different traits of what they do. And like I said, teams are definitely going to look at specific things that they need on their defense. And he can go out there and make some money for sure.
All right. My last one is a true money maker because the NFL is a copycat league.
I hate you. Go ahead.
Jalen Kilgore.
Okay.
I think Jalen Kilgore is one of those players that he's a I'll say defensive back. So
South Carolina, right?
Yeah, South Carolina. He can play your nickel. He could play safety. And because what we've seen with Nick Emmanwori, what we've seen with Kyle Hamilton, what we've seen with Derwin James, trying to get someone that can kind of deploy those things so you don't necessarily have to tip your hand in personnel, where you can play 3 safety looks, but you can guard tight ends, you can guard wide receivers, you can guard backside of the backfield, and you can also have someone physical in the run game. I think if Jalen Kilgore comes out, and he runs well, I think that's going to really vault him up there because he does make plays in the backfield. He has shown that he can really cover. I think teams will want him to really make a couple more plays on the ball and do a little bit better tackling. But I think if he shows that that speed and fluidity, somebody's gonna fall in love with him. Especially like we've seen, it's a copycat league, and so somebody's gonna try and get that chess piece into their defense where they can be like, okay, I can move you all around and use you all over the field. So I think Jalen Kilgore is gonna be one of those players. He gets out there and has a good performance. Oh, he can make himself some money this weekend.
I had on my notes, I had every safety.
Yeah, every safety, and that's true.
Every safety, because like I said, what you said, it's a copycat league, and everybody's trying to get this. They're trying to stay in base at this point. They're trying to utilize the safety as a nickel in position, and like I said, most of the top defenses had those safeties right then and there. And like I know the Ravens fell off, but they looking for another Kyle Hamilton. They looking for another Brian Branch. They looking for another Derwin James. They looking for a Nick Emmanwori, like Jalen Petrie, stuff like that. Like they looking for these guys. You know what I'm saying? So with my guy, I got Zakee Wheatley. Now he ain't like none of them we just named. He ain't no nickel. You know what I'm saying? He a true, up top single high type of safety. Yeah. But what we do know about Penn State, them boys athletic.
Yep. Jaquan Brisker.
Yep. Yeah. Let him go out there and show his athleticism and his range. Oh, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like I said, he may not be able to play the nickel, but they're free. Mike can allow somebody else to come down to play the nickel. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
I definitely think that. And also for me, like any of the quarterbacks outside of Mendoza, like somebody, like y'all about to be just throwing, so somebody, like make the like have the ball fly off your hands, like. I'm not saying this they gonna make money like somebody else gonna really vault up, but like
yes,
you might be able to get yourself drafted by doing something. And really where it's gonna come in, like this is the quarterback's portion. How y'all gonna do in these interviews? And then kind of like translate it to like, okay, you stand out in these interviews, and then okay, you throwing the ball. And I understand like throwing to receivers you don't know, but we see it all the time. Somebody's like somebody start getting a lot of draft hype from the combine. So really it's just like I'm trying to see who it's gonna be because
It's who is it, right? Like you right.
Ty Simpson is going to get the hype.
yeah, I actually was like saying
hanging
away.
fruit.
Yeah, like
No.
I was talking away from Ty Simpson, but I get what you're saying.
Oh, Gary Nussmeyer.
Oh yeah,
He
because
about to
Garrett
take.
Nussmeyer been hurt.
He been hurt. He had the hype coming into the season. The Senior Bowl he would make sure they were like, oh, it was a health issue that was his issues throughout the season. So now you got Garrett. He go out here and have a good combine. Okay, maybe he goes up around.
Yeah.
Hey, another person that had the hype, Drew Allen. The fact that he's out there participating.
That's who I think was going to vault up to the third round because he's the look the part all-star. He gonna go out there big, strong, and all of that, and they're like, oh, the Penn State offense was holding him back, and he gonna disappoint somebody like Christian Hackenberg. But I also was gonna say Cade Klubnik, because we also seen Cade Klubnik have the hype. So I think that these dudes who was like fighting to be UDFAs, 7th rounders, 6th rounders, and stuff like that are going to be kind of like, and we've seen a lot of these quarterbacks, like, they starting to like, okay, we want to see those quarterbacks take a lot of like snaps. So I think we're going to start seeing some of these dudes get like that have, been veterans. Some of these teams are willing, like they're going to try and bring them in as reclamation projects, as backups, and see what's happening. Because shoot, like I know my team, like we are looking at quarterbacks in the draft because we need a backup. So it's like, do we want to, bring in Joe Flacco or try and get one of these young dudes in? And then, like some of these other teams been doing, you mess around, hit a lick, and you can get a 4th round pick for somebody, for throwing a couple passes and looking decent in a preseason game or something like that. So I think that these quarterbacks have a chance to make their job easier to stick on a roster. Because when you're a 7th round pick, it's hard. But if you can get up there to be like someone like you really catch someone's eyes and they're like, I kind of want to get you before we, somebody else, and they look at you at like a 5th round, maybe a 4th round, or somebody got, some extra comp picks where it's like, we'll use that. We're going to just try and get him in camp and see what we can do because we like him. That can help you, and that can kind of like steer your career in a good spot. So I think that these quarterbacks have a chance to put themselves on the right trajectory. I don't think any of them are going to like be, sneak into the 2nd round. But
yeah, no, not that far. And to me, names like Cade Klubnik and Drew Outlaw, if you can get them 5th round, like that's not a bad spot to get them at, right? These are names that we've been hearing for the past couple of years. They're not nobodies, right? We all know who Cade Klubnik is. We all know who Drew Outlaw is. And it's funny because a lot of teams really don't need quarterbacks. Like I think quarterbacks are going to start falling. I don't think you can count on your hand how many teams need a quarterback right now today. Like it hasn't been like that. It hasn't been like this for a while. I think it's a lot of teams that have their guys. So quarterbacks to me already gonna start falling to the 3rd, 4th round. So if you can get a little experiment out of Cade Klubnik, I'm not mad at that. 4th, 5th round. I'm not mad at that at all.
I think some of these teams that we can name that need quarterbacks that's gonna try to find some of these reclamation projects. Like prime example, Arizona. Let's say, for example, Geno Smith gets cut reportedly. Like I said, then they go get Geno Smith. Boom, they next round and draft Cade Klubnik. And
right. That's why I think they'll still some of these quarterbacks late round will still kind of go like I won't say that because where I disagree with you is like when you say there's a lot of teams that don't need quarterbacks. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. that's why you look at like people like Malik Willis is projected to get 30 million because teams need quarterbacks and he's a high commodity. You made a post earlier that said, "Oh, don't nobody want Tua." Well, if don't nobody want Tua, that mean Miami need a quarterback. And even if you think that they about to just run out there with Quinn Ewers, you're not about to just go out there with Quinn Ewers and nobody else. You're gonna bring somebody else in this building. So that's like, and like I said, and like Hill mentioned, you want to bring in Gino, you probably gonna need to you want to bring in a young guy too and see if they can beat him out. The Raiders, they'll probably be in the vet backup market or
They
you
would keep
run with
Aiden. They would keep
ain't no comment.
O'Connell.
You're right. But let's see. You know,
Off the top of
the
my head, that's 4 teams I can name that need a quarterback, and that
oh, we
is
can we can go through it. We can go through like Jets.
Jets,
Like,
Raiders, Miami, and then you just said another one. I don't count the Cardinals only because they haven't moved Kyler yet. So I just that's why I don't count them, just because they haven't.
okay,
moved.
even if they don't move him,
The Vikings.
That's where I have a little pushback. I made a video about
That's
this.
we saw it.
we know.
And I do believe that we need to give him a second chance. That's
Okay,
just,
but even if you give him a second chance, that don't mean you're not bringing in competition.
Not even
'Cause-
worried. We
I mean,
saw
you
that
can
back up.
bring in some comp, but I wouldn't say they need
Matter of fact,
a quarterback.
We saw that
That's
back
just-
up.
Yeah,
That
Max
backup
Bro-
had one of the he had one of the worst games
Max
we've ever seen.
Max Brosner is not Max Brosner. He is not. He might not make the UFL.
Yeah, we good.
So
on
when
that.
y'all say need quarterbacks, y'all don't just mean starter.
No,
Okay, so that's that's where I had it messed up. When I said
Yeah.
you need a quarterback, I meant like teams that don't really have a starter right now. So when y'all said the Vikings, I'm like, no, JJ the starter, but you're right, they do need a backup. So I feel you on that.
I
But my
think these
thing
teams
is,
are gonna try to
go
find
ahead.
they're gonna try to double dip. Like they gonna try to find a way to like, okay, boom. Like I brought up the Geno thing. Okay, we're gonna bring in Geno, but yeah, I took a late round flyer on Drew Allen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Maybe
The
I
Falcons.
got something. The Falcons. Okay, yeah, okay. We want Michael Penix to hit something, but hey, we may take.
He got DeJuan Blair knees.
Yeah,
Like
we already just got rid
That's
of Kirk.
injury related, yeah.
We got rid of Kirk Cousins. Hey man, play Covenant. He might run my system, Kevin Stefanski system. He might fit my system.
He might.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of ways like that. The Bucks. Hey, Baker started off. He was in the MVP conversation in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Then they ready to get rid of him towards the end of the season.
mhm.
Hey, who is back up? Okay, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's bring
so
it.
I'm
Let's
backups and starters. I was just
Let-
looking at like the starting 32 quarterbacks in the league. How many need a starter is what I was looking at. But y'all saying the bench too, then I agree. There's definitely more than a handful that needs, a better QB situation. How about that? Just to help their situation out.
the Colts.
Because I mean, the Colts, the Browns.
Oh yeah, Browns need
The Browns situation to me, really there is no situation. Like you're going to start Deshaun. You don't really have a choice unless you're gonna just pay him to sit on the bench. Hey, that's
Like they've been doing. Like they've been doing.
But he has been. The first part was he got suspended. I remember at one point, and then the rest is injuries. So I don't think they're voluntarily saying, "Hey, you gonna sit on the bench." It's been suspension and injuries. But y'all think there's a possibility they gonna sit Deshaun on the bench this year, knowing they got to pay. I think it's 80 million. I believe the 80 million cap hit.
They got to throw him out there just to show that he got to show that he's ass. Like they got to at least.
But he's done. But he showed he was ass before.
I know, but they got to see it again. Like they got to like.
That is true.
You got to.
And then it's a new coaching staff now, so maybe that could help him a little bit. Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna succeed or nothing like that, but you got to see. You have to.
Yeah, you still got to get the man here. Damn, man, go out there.
Yeah.
Hey, what about y'all?
About us? That's a great question. I'm glad you said that. So, us as an organization, well, as fans, how about that?
A crew
We are
and a
split.
motherfucking label.
We are split in half. Okay, there's some of us that believe Will Howard is the answer, and I think that Will Howard sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, you got to give him a chance. He's a national champion. I'm not going to poo-poo on that, right? Him sitting behind Aaron.
Greg McElroy was a national champion.
Not as long. Okay, you can pull up national champions that was trash. I know you can do that, but what I'm saying is, did they sit behind Aaron Rodgers? That's the question. Like Jordan Love sat behind him, I know for a longer amount of time, I know, but still, you can grab a thing or two from one of the smartest quarterbacks ever and one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. You can learn a thing or two. Unfortunately, Will Howard broke his pinky, I believe, in preseason, so he didn't get no reps at all this entire year. So we didn't get to see nothing. But I do think that there's a scenario where Aaron Rodgers is your last year. You got Mike McCarthy for a reason. I think it's to let Aaron run it back one more time. and then you can bring Will Howard in. I've heard people say Mike McCarthy's good at developing quarterbacks. I don't really believe that because I think Aaron was Aaron. Like, I don't think that was really Mike McCarthy, in my opinion. But people will bring up the fact that some of Dak Prescott's best years were with Mike McCarthy. So you can argue Mike McCarthy's good at developing quarterbacks. Cool, whatever. So he could develop Will Howard. But then there's some of us that don't believe he's our guy. So you're right. We could probably draft a quarterback 5th round, 6th round just to see what's happening. But I think Will Howard should be, and we should at least give him a chance moving forward.
With the extra draft capital that y'all have, like
That
I can see y'all getting Garrett Nussmeier. Like he has a connection with Garrett Nussmeier. Like you said, Doug Nussmeier is the offensive coordinator in New Orleans. Used to be on the staff with Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? So they have a connection. So I can see him. Like you said, if you want him to sit for a year under Aaron Rodgers, I can see that y'all move off from Mason Rudolph. Maybe get something for him. I could see that is a possibility with the extra draft capital that y'all have. Because like I said, Mike McCarthy, I know he's saying great things about Will Howard as right now, but he wasn't a part of the regime that drafted him.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Most people want their guy. Like I said,
he wants your guy. Yeah.
So
I understand 100%. But I'm glad y'all brought quarterbacks. I do want to ask a question before we move on.
Okay.
Fernando Mendoza is not throwing at the combine, right?
Smart.
For one, okay, you said smart. Why? Why do you think that's smart?
I mean, because it's already projected that he's already the number 1 overall pick. Like, I don't need to go out here and do anything other than, give my interviews and show you my measurables. Like, I don't have to do anything extra than I have to do. And also, it helps out. It's actually commendable because it helps out your teammate your teammates, because you do have 2 draftable wide receivers that's going to be at your pro day as well, and they're going to need you at your best. So the whole hype train of, we got to go see Fernando Mendoza. Okay, cool. You're also going to see Str8 and Omar Cooper, right? AJ, I got both of their names right here. So
Elijah Str8,
it's actually a good commendable moment. But like we've seen plenty of top draft picks don't throw.
Because my thing is like I said, when he's projected to be the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
What at that point? What else is there for him to gain?
There's nothing to gain. I'm glad y'all said it. Y'all had the perfect answer. The perfect answer for that. So my follow-up question is, should he be the number 1 pick? Is my question to y'all. Like just y'all, from y'all perspective, not from the Raiders' perspective, but from y'all perspective, should he be? Is this a guy you want to draft number 1?
But see, that's where it becomes an issue. That's where we talk about like your value and like what you're worth, because quarterbacks have that premium, and you feel like even if you feel like Fernando Mendoza is the 35th best player in this draft class, because he's a quarterback and you need a quarterback. That's why you go get him, because you need a quarterback. And if you feel like he's the 35th best player, like that, you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anybody to lead it, and you feel like he can do it, there's it's like a curve. That value vaults you up. I don't necessarily think that that's a way to necessarily team build. Like I said, we talk about it all the time on the very first episode. When you have like rosters like that, build the rest of your roster up.
Yes, that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
But the thing about it, the only thing about it is it's hard to project moving forward. So you can kind of do all that stuff, and you never know what happens. Like, because like they're in they're in this position now. So since you're in this position now, just go for it. Like, I still make fun of the Panthers to, trading up to get Bryce Young, knowing Caleb Williams was coming out the following year. But it was like they felt like he could do it. So you go and get your guy. That's what he'll preach to me all the time. When you see your guy, man, go and get your guy, and you deal with the consequences after. So I just feel like, hey, if like we've seen Francisco Mendoza lead a really good team in a pro style offense and make the throws when necessary and do those things. Is he Caleb Williams? Is he Joe Burrow? Is he Lamar? Is he Josh Allen? He's not one of those. But he is the best quarterback in this league. I mean, in this draft.
He is. But is that saying much? That's kind of where I come from. Like you said needs. And I am 100% with that. I always say you draft needs, not wants. The Raiders messed up last year because y'all drafted a one. That
Ooh, I
Ashton
got
Jeffrey
one more
was the
point.
one.
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Cause
So,
I'm
like when people looked at the draft, like, oh, Bo Nix,
Mhm.
Jackson Dart, people looked at them like, why? Like, why are you going up and get them? But Bo Nix was Sean Payton's guy, and it looked like
from
he
the
had a
jump.
plan to it from the jump. Bo Nix was Sean Payton's guy, and he got him. And people were like, I don't know.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it looks a little bit different because it's number one. But when you have those players and it, like now people look at them like, oh, these are some dudes that you can win with. So when you do that and you get that foundation, hey, just go like that's it. You pull the trigger because again, also because of the quarterback tax and the lack of quarterbacks in this draft, I don't necessarily know even if the Raiders were to trade back, can you really maximize what you would get in a different draft class to get that, because it's not like people are competing for other quarterbacks and they're trying to pay that quarterback tax, because it's like, okay, like we don't like we don't necessarily care to go up to get Fernando Mendoza right now. Are we not going to give up that much because it's not one of the top of the top that we feel like is like the Caleb Williams where we like, yeah, we want to go up and acquire that asset.
Yeah.
So sometimes like, all right, look, just stick with what you got and then make it happen from there.
But here's my thing about they have so many wants and needs and everything about that. They've been trying to fill this out. Like they've been trying this route. Like let's not make it seem like they just been out here just trying to get quarterbacks. No, they've been trying to fill out their roster.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do the method that you're suggesting. They have so many needs. And let's rewind. I'm not sure about how you felt about them last year as a team, but me and AJ thought that the offense was going to look like something.
I didn't.
And you did.
So
Hold on.
so
That's fine.
oh,
No, that is fine. That's how you initially felt. You are 100% fine. And I'm not saying that we are right just because we felt this
right.
way, because obviously we look wrong as hell because the way it looked, because it looked ass the entire way. But the thing, but also it was a reason why we felt this way. You know what I'm saying? So that mean the cupboard wasn't really that bad. That must mean that they just may need a quarterback to stabilize this thing.
Because
And
Geno
then
was ass.
and the offensive line was ass her.
That was the problem. Like that's why last year I had such a big problem with you drafting a running back top 10. You don't have an old line for him to run behind. Like, and that showed throughout the entire year. Genty had no wiggle room at all. Every now and then he gave a couple passes where he can get loose, but when it came to running the football, it was terrible.
But now we getting a fuller picture being that, because now they bringing in Clint Kubiak, who's bringing in a system that can mitigate a bad offensive line. Don't give me, hey bro, the Seahawks offensive line was bad before he got there.
They weren't great, facts.
And they weren't great, but they went from bad to at least average, or
above average,
usable, usable, and that's
usable.
Yeah.
So
and so
that's offensive system. So bring that, attach that. Okay, boom,
and when you
raise that floor, go ahead.
And then when you bring that Kubiak system in, that's 1,000-yard rusher right there. So and then you add the impact that Ashton Jeffrey could do, and then the reason why we thought that the Raiders' offense would look solid last year is because of what we saw on paper. And we didn't like we thought if you can get the Geno you got in Seattle, you got like you could do a little something. So now you bring in a Clint Kubiak and you bring in a Mendoza who can run that that offense, and you pair Mendoza with that Kubiak offense. It can make it real easy on them, and you have Brock Bowers and you have some of these other weapons where it's like, okay, this is serviceable. You can fix the offensive line and free agency, and the draft don't end at pick number 1. Say it all the time. The draft do not end at pick number 1.
100%. I feel like if you miss at pick number 1, that kind of sets you back. And then
Not no more, because these teams will move off a pick. They'll move off a number 1 pick really quick.
Hey, y'all know we talking about
that to me is pushing you back in terms of the process, right? Like we're gonna still be saying, oh, the Raiders still need a quarterback after they done spent the first pick overall on Fernando Mendoza. Like that to me, if I'm the GM right now, I am listening to calls for the number 1 pick. If y'all not cool with trading it, cool. I will draft the best O lineman or the best edge rusher because I believe that it starts up front. Period. You can pair
But
the best edge
the
rusher with
best O
Max
lineman
Crosby.
ain't but the best O lineman ain't guaranteed to do anything in this draft either.
I don't know. I think he's from Minnesota. Tackle from Minnesota. I could be wrong. I like him a lot. I like the tackle from Miami. Now, I just think that
Again, it doesn't guarantee that they gonna be good. You
no
can like them.
no doubt. But I'm more comfortable. I guess my whole thing is I do not believe, like you said, you named those first picks, first pick overalls. You said Caleb Williams. You said Joe Burrow. Right. You said not when Lamar Jackson wasn't first pick, but Fernando Mendoza to me, when I had the first pick, I can get the best player in the draft. I'm not going to waste it on a quarterback that, like you said, is probably the 35th best player in the draft. That's just how I'm looking at it. And I made a video and I said, if I'm a GM, I'm going to do something else with the first round pick. And this is before they got Clint Kubiak. I said, why not get an OC from San Francisco and go trade for Mac Jones? That will give you a long enough bridge.
What if San Francisco don't trade you Mac Jones?
If I call and they don't answer, then cool. If I call and they say no, then I gotta go a different route. But that is to me the dream scenario for the Raiders in my head is to get a Mac Jones.
Sometimes you wake up.
But I got
That's
hold on. Is this philosophy based on just Fernando Mendoza, or are we taking into account the Raiders in this situation as well?
I think both. I think Fernando Mendoza in that offense will not succeed. Now the Clint Kubiak hire it might have changed my mind just a little bit because we saw what Clint did with Sam. And I'm not trying to knock Sam at all, but I'm saying he saw what he did with Sam Darnold, right? So Clint could be the hire that fixes all of this, right? But before the hire, I was thinking Fernando Mendoza in this offense to me is just not going to be it. And I think behind a bad old line, if you don't address that, he's going to get killed. Because Geno had a bad year, but oh my goodness, he was getting killed too, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. The Raiders and just the fact that if I had the number one pick overall. And AJ, I don't know if he was being dramatic or whatever, but you said 35th best player. Is that how you really see Mendoza, or is he just saying hypothetically?
I haven't put like my full board yet because I'm gonna wait till after the combine. But that's kind of why I brought up Jackson Dart, because if you look at it, like going into that draft, a lot of people felt like Jackson Dart wasn't like necessarily a first round prospect. But after this season, regardless of everything that happened, coaches getting fired, people do redrafts from that draft, and Jackson Dart, people have him in the top 5. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it just depends. And so I think that like because of the quarterback tax and with Clint Kubiak, hey, go get him and see what happens.
But we had the same exact example last year with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Cam Ward wasn't the number one ranked player in the draft. Like I said, he might have been damn near. I know in some consensus boards he was in the teens.
Mm-hmm.
So
I truly thought last year that Jackson Dart would be the best quarterback in that class.
That's fine. But now I'm talking. But what did you think about Cam Ward?
I thought I always told people this: Cam and Shador, one gonna be a bust, one gonna be good. I can't tell you who gonna be good and who gonna be a bust. So would I have got Cam Ward with the first pick? No, I wouldn't have. But it worked out. At least for what he had, he showed flashes, and you can build around that, and that's cool.
Hey, that's all I want.
Yeah,
you had a philosophy right there, and you stuck with it, and it translated from boom. You didn't waver like you do sometimes.
Speaking of philosophies,
with your logic.
Speaking of philosophies, let's go ahead and talk about some of the performances of these quarterbacks and where we have them going into 2026 and where we think, we'll start it off easy just to get as a little off-season banter. Who are our top 5 quarterbacks?
Who want to go first?
You.
Oh, the floor is yours.
The floor is yours, my brother. We allow our guests to have their time to shine.
Hey, man. I love it when the lights are bright. I love it. All right. So, start off with the honorable mention. Okay, this player just missed my top 5. And it's Joe Burrow. Okay? I know. He's a fan favorite. Joe Burr, Joe Cool. We all remember the cigar in his mouth at LSU. He had great moments in Cincinnati. Took him to the Super Bowl, all that. But what have you done for me lately is my question to Joe Burrow fans, okay? And I'm not kicking him to Yucatan. I'm just putting him at number 6, right? Joe Burrow hasn't been to the playoffs since 2022, okay? And health has a lot to do with it. The team around him has a lot to do with it. But I just can't make excuses for you and keep you in the top 5 when other guys have proven that they have passed you up. Every quarterback I'm about to name after him has at least 2 of these. a Super Bowl. Sorry, I had to write it. My bad. An All-Pro, been to the playoffs multiple times since 2022. An MVP, a Super Bowl ring, or a Super Bowl MVP. Everybody I'm about to name has at least 2 of those. He doesn't have 1. All right, so that's just put that out there. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, to me, this year, we saw him take a little step back. I know he was dealing with injuries, right? But when he was playing, we did not see that same MVP level Lamar. You can say injuries, cool. But I think if Lamar Jackson does not run the ball as much as like this year, he did not run the ball a lot. And if that trend continues, I do think we're going to never see MVP Lamar again. Me personally. There's one thing that we like. You disagree?
I disagree with that part. I'm not gonna stop you though.
Okay,
Continue.
cool. No, cool. I do not believe that he can become a 80%. I'm gonna throw the ball, 20%. I'm gonna run and be as effective as he has been when it was more so 50-50 or 60-40. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think he's a great pocket passer. That's just me. All right. And then he's at number 5 because
Put a
I
pin in
trust
that.
these next 4. Sorry.
I said just put a pin in that.
Okay, we're gonna put a pin in there. We'll come back to it. That's cool. Next 4 quarterbacks, I trust more in a high pressure situation than Lamar Jackson. That is the main reason why they're in front of Lamar, because we know about his playoff struggles. Number 4, the most hated quarterback of all time, Jalen Hurts. And the reason why I have Jalen Hurts here is because we love to say Jalen Hurts had a terrible year when that's not true. The problem is the haters want to see him be who this fictional prototype of a quarterback is to the haters. This year, I'm gonna read 2 stat lines, and I'm gonna tell y'all who this was. 3,200 passing yards, 33 combined touchdowns with 6 interceptions. That was one guy, and that's Jalen Hurts. This other guy had 3,600 passing yards, so 400 more passing yards, 39 combined touchdowns. So what is that? 6 more touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and that was Josh Allen. So we praised that Josh Allen was a top 10 player of the Pro Football Focus top 100, and we praised Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts did not have that much worse of a season than Josh Allen, but people swear him down. He's nowhere near the top 5.
Nuance.
Not
You're missing nuance.
I'm not missing nothing. I'm telling you everything that you need to know as to why Jalen Hurts should be considered in top 4 conversations. Also, since 2021, how many quarterbacks can say this? He has an all-pro selection, made the playoffs every single year, went to the Super Bowl twice, had a Super Bowl ring and a Super Bowl MVP. Not many other quarterbacks can say that other than Patrick Mahomes. So the fact that he's doing all this and we just poo-pooing on it, to me, it's just not fair. Number 3, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford was my honorable mention last year, going into this past year, but I think he has jumped to number 3. Look, led the league in touchdowns, led the league in yards, was the league MVP, and got to the NFC Championship. He was 1 game away from being in the big dance. Hey, I don't mind him being number 3 on my list. Next up, number 2, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, to me, is like his best game is better than anybody else's best game. This year, we saw him have 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns in the same game with over 300 passing yards. I don't think there's a lot of quarterbacks that can replicate that. I just don't. So him at his best, I just don't think anybody can go toe-to-toe with him. That's why he's number 2 for the most part, right? He still has the playoff struggles, no doubt about it. But it's not as bad as nobody below him. No doubt. Then number 1, Patrick Mahomes. We're not going to let one season, and mind you, he got hurt this year. And majority of the year wasn't his fault. Like, it was not his fault that they ended up being what they were this year, and the dominance that he has put on the league in years prior to that, I would not let one season drop him from being number 1 when he's done things that no other quarterback on this list has done, and that's win multiple rings. But go ahead, let's hear the rebuttal, because AJ, you want to say something so bad. Let's say it. I want to hear it. I'm ready for it.
It just felt like for some quarterbacks, she was saying, "Oh, it's not their fault," and then some quarterbacks like, "Oh, I'm not going to give them a pass because of their team and this, and that, like that." And then, "Oh, Jalen, we're going to give up like." So
Okay,
I just like this is what I mean when I hear you say like, "Oh, like there's just inconsistencies in your argument," because you put Josh at number 2, saying, "Oh, his best game can go toe to toe with anybody," but you put so much stock in what people are doing in the playoffs, but then say, "Oh, his best game could do it," but just negated the fact that what did we just see? And this ain't the first time we've seen him, piss down his leg in the playoffs. So that's what I mean when I talk about these inconsistencies. And because again, like I said, you talk about, oh, we haven't seen like certain people do it, but then like you talk about Lamar's playoff struggles. The only time Josh Allen advances in the playoffs is when he gets to play Lamar. Nobody else. He put up 10 points against the Bengals. at home.
Yep. And name the other game that he played bad in. This past year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
no,
two.
and it wasn't bad. It was bad. And let's not also forget, he almost lost to Skylar Thompson, but like he won that game. So we're like everybody forgets about that. So I'm so again,
That he
we get
almost lost.
but
That's crazy.
but you just talk about how he played. And this is why I talk about I don't like wins is not a QB stat. And so that's why when you bring up all these wins, like, okay, cool. But to me, when you talk about who's the better quarterback, some shuffling needs to go around. Now, if we're just talking about like, because you said who you trust in the big game, that's fine. But if we're talking about who's the better quarterback, then that's where my list. That's like, because to me, that's what my list is. So when we talk about my list as far as the quarterbacks are Mahomes, Lamar, Stafford, Josh, Joe, and Dak as my honorable mention. Those are the top 6 quarterbacks in this league right now. When it comes to quarterback. And this is what I'm saying. I have no issues with you saying, oh, Jalen Hurts has these accolades. Those accolades don't make Jalen Hurts an elite quarterback. I can
Be
probably.
elite to have those accolades.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You cannot
No,
be
you don't.
average and be an all-pro selection. You can. You cannot be
Yes, you
average and almost
can.
win MVP. No, you cannot.
As a quarterback, I'm not saying he didn't have a good year. But what I'm saying is just because you got an all pro, like a second team all pro, you had a good year. Jalen Hurts has not been consistently, because the same reason why I'm not putting JSN over Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and stuff like that is because he had an amazing year. But I saw that happen with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had 1 year. Don't mean he the best receiver in the league. You need to show me consistency that you can play at an elite level. Jalen Hurts hasn't played at an elite level. He has Jalen Hurts has 1 season at an elite level, and he was in the MVP conversation, and then he got hurt towards the end of the season, and that was it. The same shit that happened with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was never a top 5 quarterback. Neither is Jalen Hurts.
Bruh.
I'm talking about quarterback. I'm not talking about your accolades. Dudes get
doubt.
accolades all the time. That
has
don't mean
to go
you
with
great.
the list, though. You
No,
cannot
it don't.
be. Yes, it does. Results. I like results. If you like quarterbacks that hasn't been to playoffs since 2022 and will play good every now and then miss the playoffs every year, then cool. That's how you like your quarterbacks. I like quarterbacks that win. I like quarterbacks that will not lose me games in the playoffs. You talked about Josh Allen in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's playoff woes are way worse than Josh Allen's. Lamar Jackson a couple years ago had the #1 defense in sacks and turnovers, had a top 10 defense in yards allowed per game, and lost to Mahomes 17-10. They held Mahomes to 17 points, and he could not score more than 17. You know what he did? He fumbled and he threw a pick, and that led to them losing. Against Josh Allen, everybody want to say, oh, Mark Andrews got to catch that ball. If you don't fumble and throw a sorry pick in that game, you don't put your team in the hole you put them in to where you couldn't come back. Lamar Jackson is losing these games, and it's bad. Look at his touchdown to interception ratio in the playoffs. It's terrible. Josh Allen's is better. I get it. Josh Allen has had games where he lost the game, but his highs is way better than Lamar's high. I've seen Josh Allen play at an MVP level in the playoffs. You cannot point at one game where Lamar Jackson has played like an MVP. His level of play clearly declines when he gets into the playoffs, and that's just facts. That's not me hating. The numbers say that. And for Jalen Hurts, you say he only had 1 elite season. I just said since 2021, he's been in the playoffs every year. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances, and in both of those,
But I just said
he was the best quarterback.
I'm not. What I just said also is, to me, wins are not a QB stat.
It has to be a QB stat whenever
it does not.
Jackson is causing his team to lose. If you really have if you can really dictate a win or loss, then that has a lot to do with you. Lamar's losing these games. Jalen Hurts is not losing games. He does not lose you a football game in the playoffs. He just doesn't. He doesn't do it. We've never seen.
But when Jalen Hurts goes a whole second half without getting 5 passing yards, and his team wins, he's still like that, huh?
Talk to me. Go ahead.
So that's still a QB win, though.
He did that multiple times this year.
No doubt. In those games, I never praised.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
No.
We saw it. We saw it. We saw it.
Yes, you did.
That is false. I did not praise him when he won them. What I said was he is not going to lose you the game. I've said on multiple occasions, Jalen Hurts is not going to take unwarranted risks.
Okay, but see, this is what I'm talking about, the inconsistency. Because if they lose that game,
then it's Jalen Hurts' fault.
But because they won it, The running game, he didn't even contribute. He didn't have 5 yards in the whole second half. But you give him that win. But if they lose, it's his fault. Like, to me, that's crazy. Like, because
it happened multiple times.
Multiple times the defense held them. Like, the defense bailed them out. They get field goals. The running back Saquon Barkley gets him in these places. So again, like we've said multiple times, these other quarterbacks ain't afforded this opportunity. Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback. These elite quarterbacks can't have those performances. You say Lamar Jackson loses those games because Lamar Jackson can't do that. Lamar Jackson can't go a whole second half without moving the ball. Josh Allen can't go a whole second half without moving the ball.
This year in particular, the first time that he had a game that he didn't have any yards, or he had like 9 total yards in the second half.
The Chiefs, probably, maybe the Chiefs game, maybe
one of them games. It was the first time it happened. You went on your podcast and you said, "Hey, he just wins. He gets it done. He just is what he do.
He doesn't lose the game." That's what I said. Yep.
But he didn't contribute.
You have to. He did not. He did. You can say he did not contribute, but he did not hurt his team, which is what we see all these quarterbacks do.
Jalen, they was trying to get yards with. He was trying to throw the ball.
No doubt. But once again, did he lose you the game? That is my whole thing.
But how are we praising? No, listen. That was the first time that we did it. Okay, we thought it was a bit. I'm like, okay, cool. You riding with your guy. Okay. Did it happen again when he had no yards again in the second half? Did it happen again? And then they lost. Now all of a sudden, you want to get on. You want to get on. You want to blame everybody else at that point. Then it was everybody else's fault. Or then it was AJ Brown's fault. Then it was the offensive line fault. Then it was their fault. I'm like, oh, what happened to your man's? Just played the whole game. He played the whole half not contribute. And he's trying. And he's trying. Hold on. It might not have been you. No, I'm not even gonna put that on you. But at the same time, you still champion him when he got these wins, because that was one of the things that you was doing. That's why I stopped talking to you about Jalen Hurts this whole year, because once they won and he ain't do nothing, it was all Jalen Hurts. He's just a winner. He just figured it out. But once they lost, it was a whole laundry list of everybody else's fault. I'm like,
Brown's a diva.
How is it everybody?
Is he not a diva? Yes or no? Is he a diva? Yes or no?
No, the passing game was because what did AJ? So is Devontae Smith a diva?
No, he's not.
Devontae Smith said the same. Devontae Smith was saying the same thing. They just kept putting the camera in front of AJ Brown. Devontae Smith has come out and said when like this, he was echoing a lot of the things that AJ Brown was saying. Same thing they said last year when they were struggling, and they asked AJ Brown what the problem with the offense was, and he said the passing game.
That's exactly what he said, no doubt. And if y'all remember that very next game, he pieced up Pittsburgh and showed y'all that the passing game is not the problem. The problem is, and this is maybe where y'all can have y'all points with this. Jalen Hurts is not I'm gonna go out there every week and put up 303 passing touchdowns. He just don't have that mentality. He doesn't. So like kind of a basketball reference, you can say he's not a Kobe. He's not gonna go out there and try to kill you.
He's Patrick Beverly.
He's what?
He's Patrick Beverly.
I don't want to talk to y'all no more, bro. You just put Patrick Beverly and Jalen Hurts in the same conversation. This is what I mean by he is so overly hated. No way you just put a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the same conversation as Patrick Beverly. That's crazy. D Hill, that's crazy too. Like you can't support that. There's no way. There's no way.
Patrick Beverly was a really good defensive player in his prime.
No, stop saying Patrick Beverly's name. Patrick Beverly is trash. Stop it. Stop talking about Patrick Beverly. Because you put him in the same. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
But at the same time, we've seen lesser quarterbacks win the Super Bowl. Like,
but you can't, and I'm glad you said that, because you got me last time when you brought up Trent Dilfer and Eli Manning. Neither one of them has ever been an All-Pro player. Never. But I guess y'all don't care about that because AJ don't care. AJ don't care about All-Pro. He said you don't got to be elite to have an All-Pro selection, which is crazy to me because All-Pro means you was a top 2 quarterback that year. That's exactly what it means. And he was a top 2 quarterback that year, but AJ said he wasn't elite. You don't got to be elite to have that. Mind you, that year that he was All-Pro, everybody want to poo-poo on it and talk about his yards and his passing yards and everything. He had better numbers than Lamar Jackson did when Lamar Jackson won his second MVP. And I have it right here. Jalen Hurts in that year had 3,700 passing yards with 35 combined touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 3,600 passing yards with 29 combined touchdowns.
And this is why he said nuance. Hold up, but this is why he said nuance, because name the wide receivers that first year that Lamar was throwing to.
The second year.
Name the wide receivers.
That you can't. Zay Flowers for sure was on that team. For sure. I'm sure Rashad Bateman was on that team. I'm sure. Cool. They're not crazy names. I understand that. So, but
they are no. They don't have to be crazy names. They're not AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
They're not. But we cannot knock AJ. And this is. I'm glad you brought
I'm
that up.
not knocking him. I'm not knocking him for that.
Yes, you are.
I'm not,
if you bring it up, you're knocking him.
No. See, once again, it's a nuanced thing because you comparing stats because like you just tried to do with Josh Allen. You say, oh, he had the same stats as Josh Allen. Josh Allen had better stats with lesser weapons.
But Josh Allen is praised as the best, most talented quarterback in the league
because he has.
You praised him as the best, most talented quarterback in the league.
Because he is the most talented quarterback in the league.
Because he's doing that with lesser weapons. Hey, bro, Dak had better stats than Mahomes. You won't got him break better than Mahomes.
That's because Mahomes longevity. Dak is number 7 on my list. He's right there because Dak does put up great seasons, no doubt about it.
That's fine.
You can, to me,
but hold on. But at the same time, Mahomes' weaponry is way less than what Dak is having. So I'm not about to sit here and act like Dak is better than Mahomes.
No doubt. I'm not saying that. No doubt.
So you just tried to allude to me saying that about Hurts and Lamar Jackson. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's new. It does play a part. I'm not penalizing Hurts for having weapons.
But I think you low key are. If we talk about Jalen Hurts,
it's inexcusable for the second half of the games that you don't get no damn yards with them weapons. I don't give a damn about none of that. Oh, he just wins shit. Like, bro, you have those weapons. You can't throw a smoke screen. You can't even throw a smoke screen.
No doubt. I have heard, and y'all know y'all have heard this, and y'all know this for a fact, that Kevin Patullo's offense was broken. And y'all can say it's an excuse all you want to, but these other great quarterbacks in the league have really good offensive minds. We never questioned their offensive coordinators ever.
I disagree.
We did one time with Josh Allen. And
I disagree. Don't get me started.
Ooh.
Zach Taylor, you be all night, bro. If you get
one of the
Joe's offense is functioning, so you can say Zach Taylor as a head coach, but I mean as an offensive mind calling plays.
No. It does it functions in spite of everything that's going on. Trust me, there's nuance to this, and it's a deeper conversation. We already an hour in, but trust me, there is some offensive flaws.
Don't say that. Just go,
yeah. So what I'm saying is, even still, like, what about 2024? Like that, like it was a bad offense. It was a bad offense. And then if you want to bring it into it and you want to talk about the offensive system, well, was he a system quarterback? Because Shane Steichen sure did make Daniel Jones look good too.
He can't be a system quarterback if he is successful more than not. And he has a different offensive coordinator every single year. So that system quarterback thing, you can't throw that in there when he's had a different coordinator every year. You can't do that. A system quarterback means I've seen you be successful in one system and the other system you're not. Therefore, that system you was in the first time, that's your system. You're a system manager.
No, you can have systems that work for you, and you can have offensive coordinators that cater a system towards you, and then you get to one that doesn't cater one to you, and then you can't function instead of actually just being able to be a quarterback. So again, I'm not saying anything, but then again, if we want to talk about system quarterbacks, and we can't do that, a lot of people held a whole bunch of stuff against Lamar Jackson when he was under Greg Roman, and then Greg Roman gets to Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert looks terrible. But then again, you talk about, you don't believe that Lamar Jackson can get back to his MVP form because you don't see he can function as a quarterback that can pass 80% of the time and only run 20% of the time. When Jalen Hurts don't run, those numbers don't look good at all. And guess what he stopped doing last year? So if you feel like, you don't see Lamar Jackson returning back to his MVP form, and he's a 2-time MVP, how you just gonna give Jalen Hurts the benefit of the doubt? And again, I'm not talking about wins. I'm talking about playing quarterback.
No doubt. And this year, with a new offensive coordinator, I am expecting a better year. I never said Jalen Hurts had the greatest year ever. I've never said that. I didn't even say he was the top 5, like, this year specifically. This year, I didn't say he had a top 5 season this year. My top 5 and top 6 don't go based on the season before. It's still a collection of years prior. It's not just that year. So this year, Jalen Hurts specifically was not a top 5 this year. No doubt about it. But my whole thing is, all year, I've heard Kevin Patullo's name. I've heard it from Eagles fans. I've heard it from the media. I've heard it from Eagles reporters. So with him out the building, I am expecting Jalen Hurts to have a better season than this year. And once again, this year, this bad year he had, the numbers are similar to, and not similar, but they're a little worse than Josh Allen, who we're praising for this year. Cool. Josh Allen don't have the weapons. I
I
understand.
never praised Josh Allen this
But
year.
I don't know why. I don't know why. But Josh Allen had a good year this year. Jalen Hurts' numbers was not far from it. So nobody can say Jalen Hurts had a terrible year. That's what the public is saying. And that's low-key what y'all are making it seem like. Like he had this bad, terrible year. Yes, he had games where you sat back and scratched it. I've scratched my head plenty of times watching Jalen Hurts this year. No doubt about it. But I've also seen games against the Rams. Nobody want to talk about it. When he made that big comeback against Matthew Stafford, who was the MVP winner. That game against the Vikings, where he off rip was just whooping them from the start. Right, there's games this year where he did show that, but for the majority of it, you're right. There were games where you scratched your head. If I'm hearing Eagles fans, and Eagles fans are split. I've heard Eagles fans blame Jay Hurts for everything. I've heard Eagles fans say Jay Hurts has nothing to do with the problems, right? But all of them combined has said Kevin Patullo was a bad OC. Nobody has said Kevin Patullo was a good offensive coordinator. So this year gonna be the tell-all. Gonna be a tell-all. What you gonna do with the new OC? That's what I'm waiting to see this year specifically.
Bill, your top 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Mahomes still further notice, bro.
Yeah,
Number
For
one.
sure.
I got Josh Allen at number 2. I mean, Josh Allen number 2, bro. I mean, he nice. I ain't about to sit in nitpick and diss him. You know, I went back down. I not because 2 and 3 was, you know, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. You can go with either one. You know what I'm saying? So definitively, you know, Lamar took a step back, and it was clearly because of his injuries. You can clearly tell, even when he did run, he didn't run. He wasn't running away from people. He clearly looked injured. Like, I'm not sure how you watched him and didn't see him look compromised. So I got Lamar at 3. I moved up Matt Stafford at number 4. You know, Matt Stafford's number 4. I mean, he was teetering at 5 anyway because he just been nice. And then he showed up. He had that back. I was only worried about the back injury this offseason.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, he went on there to have an MVP. And number 5, I got Herbert, man.
I'm glad I'm ask you a question about that because I really do have a question. Oh wait, they say honorable mention too. Sorry, honorable mention.
Oh, I just knocked down I just knocked down Burrow just specifically. Is only injury related. If he's healthy, then he's going to get his spot back right now. But I have to specifically knock him down a notch.
For
and
sure.
he was in the top 4 for me. Same way I knocked down Lamar for being injury related. I just knocked down, you know, I knocked down Burrow as well. You know, that's just
so with Herbert. With Herbert, how much of it is talent and how much of it is everything else combined? Right? Because a lot of ways you look at a quarterback, right? Talent is one of them. Then you have other things like winning, you have accolades, you have all that. So how much of it is talent and how much of it is everything else?
See, but now you want to separate out. See, now this is when you want to separate the two. In the playoffs, him. Because his talent is up there. He has an elite talent. You know what I'm saying? He has an elite talent. But at the end of the day, those playoff losses that he got, you can look at him and say, bro, these are on you. At the end of the day, the offensive line was one of the worst. It was bad. And I can definitively say, hey, bro, the offensive line was a hindrance. It affected your play. I get that. And years past before, he didn't have the weaponry. You know what I'm saying? So okay, cool. You know, you don't have the weaponry, so cool. But at the end of the day, he has the talent. He can't be the reason that they lose. They can lose. I can go out there. Hey,
that's my biggest argument. Yes.
You can lose, but you cannot be the reason. This playoff that they lost, bro, the defense gave you an opportunity to get the Patriots. You was out there looking bad, bro. Bro, you lost to the Jaguars. You had the
20-something point lead. 20, 27, something like that. Yeah.
You couldn't do nothing? You couldn't do nothing?
Yep.
I can't look past everybody else if I'm going to have you in an elite category. Even if I don't consider you elite, even if you're going to be in that tier, that tier. Just let it be somebody else's fault at this point. All I want you to do is just show up and let it be somebody else's fault.
Yes. And that is the base of when I talk about people losing in the big moments. Don't let it be you. Like, you can lose a game and you can have a good game and lose. It can happen. We've seen it a lot of times. Josh Allen is the most famous one for it. That game, the 13-second game against the Chiefs. He had a great game, but lost. Nobody's blaming you for that. Just have a game like that, and I won't be as harsh. Like, one person I'm gonna bring up, Dak Prescott. Right?
I'm waiting for you to say that because
Boom.
the way y'all talk, you and Jared talk about him, it's like he done had CJ Stroud games in the playoffs, and he had not now one of them games.
No doubt. No
All
doubt.
all his losses been one possession.
No doubt.
All of them.
I'm so glad you said that. It's been one possession. I'm just looking at the last 3 losses. It's been a one possession game.
Mhm.
And you're telling me 2023 against the Packers, right? Through 2 interceptions. The first interception led to a touchdown because it put the Packers on Dallas 19-yard line.
Mhm.
The next interception was a pick 6. So 14 points came from your interceptions, and it was a close game. The year before that, y'all lost to the 49ers, I believe. He threw 2 interceptions. Y'all lost 19-12. Both interceptions led to field goals. You don't throw them picks, 9 to 10, you might lose that game by 1 point, 13-12. But that changes the trajectory of the game. It changes everything, right? And then the year before that, in 2021, I think I lost to the 49ers again. It was 16-7. The score was 16-7 when you threw an interception that put the 49ers on the 26-yard line. I believe they scored a touchdown after that. So you're right. Dak Prescott games have been close. But these interceptions, I can argue. Like, sometimes people want to argue the defense didn't show up. But if you don't turn the ball over, like your last 3 losses, you have 5 interceptions combined. I can't be cool with that and put you in my top 5 or top 6. He's top 7 because in the regular season, you're amazing. With Justin Herbert, as you said.
Stat correction is technically 4 interceptions in the last playoff game with 10 touchdowns. So go ahead.
Sorry, you said the last what?
The last three playoff games from Dak Prescott is actually 10 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
It's definitely 5. I just looked this up before the game, before we did the podcast. It's 5 interceptions in the last. It's cool. He got 10 touchdown passes. That's cool. I didn't look at that. I looked at just the interceptions. It was 2 against Green Bay, 2 against the 49ers, and 1 against the 49ers. So it's 5. But I mean, 5-4, cool. Just don't turn the ball over in the biggest games. If you lose to Green Bay, it was a high-scoring game, right? You lose that game and don't turn the ball over, I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to do it. But if interceptions come in the playoffs, then clearly you have a problem performing on the biggest stage. That's just it. And Justin Herbert, you not only have lost these 3 playoff games mainly because of you, like you said, the blown lead against Jacksonville, and then he also threw 4 interceptions last year against the Texans, and in the Patriots game, he was non-existent. But I feel like everything with Justin Herbert is his talent, and that's not enough for me on my list for me to put you top 10. He's not top 10 on my list because if you can't perform in the playoffs, then what's the point of me? Like, I've seen so many good regular season quarterbacks. You cannot be top 10 just based off talent. Like, I'm sorry. That's how I look at it. Once again, AJ said it multiple times. You think quarterback wins is not really a stat. Yes, it is. Because these quarterbacks are losing games. So clearly it got to be a skill to take care of the ball and to win games if not a lot of quarterbacks are doing it. It's not a lot that's doing it. It's only 2 that's really doing it right now. Or 3. And that's Stafford, Mahomes, and Jay Hurts, who are taking care of the football and winning games. Everybody else is losing games because of turnovers. It got to be a stat. It got to be a skill.
So how did Brock Purdy have 2 turnovers and then the Eagles still lost to a team that we saw Phillip Rivers cook?
Against you said in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That was the Eagles offense couldn't do anything. That's what that was. That's what that was. I said this year there's been times where the Eagles offense couldn't do nothing. I've been said that. So I don't know why you leaning back in your chair like you.
But who's at the helm of that though? Like, that defense can be had. He couldn't get, like, he's missing. Like, you talk about turnovers, but as the quarterback, you saying, oh, the turnovers lose you games. But when you dirting the ball 3 yards in front of your receiver and you can't convert a 3rd down, that's losing the game too.
And also in that same game, AJ Brown had 3 opportunities to make big plays and missed all 3 of them. In that same game, with the game on the line.
So now it's everybody else's fault.
No, I'm not saying Jay Hurts had.
So how? So but that's what I'm saying. You talk about QBs as a win stat, and then when I tell you that, oh, Jalen Hurts did something to lose the game, you bring up AJ Brown now.
And the thing is, you bringing up Jalen Hurts losing the game. That's once since 2021. I just said he made the 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. He can no longer say
in the Super Bowl that they lost. He played great. Guess who had the fumble to change the whole trajectory of the game? And you give him credit for that.
That's the only problem. So he lost that game. He was the best player on the field, and he lost that game.
But he had the turnover, the same thing you just talked about, Dak. He made the turnover that ended up caught. Did that turnover did that lead to a touchdown? Did that
No
not lead
doubt
to a
about it.
touchdown?
No doubt about it.
One possession.
One possession game. What are you
But
talking about?
with Dak, it's been multiple occasions. Jalen Hurts.
I just gave you multiple occasions.
You gave me 2. With Dak, I just gave you 3
Define
or
multiple?
4.
Define multiple.
Multiple is 2. But if you're only giving me 2, if you're only giving me
Do
2,
I need do I need to go to the other games when they? I'm just starting at the Super Bowl run. I'm not going to when he was a starter before that. I'm giving you a break with that.
Won like 4 games. The first year Nick Sirianni got there, when they got to the playoffs and lost to Tom Brady for crying out loud that year, is that what we're talking about?
Didn't he lose?
You can lose the game. Was it his fault? That's the question.
Yes.
Or did he play a superior team? Which one was it?
I mean,
hold on, wait. So whenever Dak lost in the playoffs, how far did the team go afterwards?
to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl.
So was that not a superior team?
Wait, whoa, the Packers? They did not go to the championship.
That was only the Packers game. I haven't said anything about the Packers.
But that's what we're talking about. That last game that Dak was in.
I said I just said name.
I'm talking about everybody he lost to.
I said name every team. So every team was superior than them, right? So that's not we giving passes for that, right?
No, San Francisco came to Dallas and beat them. You're not superior.
And went to the Super Bowl.
You came to my house and beat me. You're not more superior than me. I'm
Bowl.
sorry, you're not. You're not supposed to lose that game. You're not supposed to lose the home game in the playoffs. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to.
They went to the Super Bowl.
What? But you was favored in that game. You were the home team.
Just because you're the home team don't mean you're favored.
Were they the 4th seed that year? Were they the 4th seed that year? Yes or no? That year I don't know for sure. Were they the 4th seed? Yes or no? That's the only excuse you get out of me.
So if they were the 4th seed, so San Francisco was the 5th seed?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that was the case, then cool. You can have your little argument. But if that's not the case, then no. If you was a 3 or 2 seed that year and lost in the first round, there's no excuse. Period. It's just not. Yeah, please look it up. Please look it up.
I mean, it's no excuse. I mean, you said it's no excuse. No excuse.
No, I'm actually not looking that up. I'm trying to find something else.
If we're excusing a y'all said top 5, top 6 quarterback for losing home games in the playoffs, then hey, y'all got it. But I can't excuse Jalen Hurts for losing to the 49ers in round 1 this year, who was also, by the way, one game away from going to the number 1 seed in the NFC. By the way, just putting that out there.
Why didn't they get why didn't they get the number 1 seed?
I didn't have
because they lost the last game of the season to Seattle. They was 1 game away. I just said there was 1 game away.
I didn't have Dak in the top 5.
No, I said top 6.
I didn't have him in 6 either. You know?
Who are you saying 6?
I didn't.
You said Herbert, didn't you?
No, I had Herbert at 5.
I had Herbert at 5, and I had Burrow at 6.
Yeah.
So you didn't say 6.
I said
Burrow's at 6.
You had Burrow at 6. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but a top 10 quarterback losing at home in the playoffs, we're excusing it.
Go through your top 10 and tell me how many of them haven't lost at home.
Mahomes?
No. We already know them. I'm talking about go to the other 10 because
the rest. Yes.
Because Josh Allen has lost at home. Yep. Only put up 10 points.
To the
no
Bengals.
doubt, and I'm not excusing that. I did not excuse that game.
But you just said that's unacceptable. So I'm saying go through. So now I'm just talking about outside of the top 5.
Yes.
That we consider elite. I guarantee you're gonna find a whole bunch of them dudes that done lost at home.
I have at number like Burrow at 6, at 7. I have Dak. 8 on my list. I have
you have Dak at 7. Okay,
no doubt. But y'all are trying to defend Dak against my theory. But my reason why he's not top 6 and top 5 is because of the playoff struggles. Y'all are trying to argue against.
He don't have him in the top 5 or top 6.
No.
I don't. These playoff. No, I'm arguing the playoff struggles that you keep highlighting to make it seem like it was like you make it seem like it was just him, like it was just his fault.
Like you just said, it was 1 possession games and you got multiple turnovers. How is it not your fault? I'm confused. Maybe I'm misjudging the whole situation. But if you have
you just gave somebody else a pass because in a 1 possession game on the biggest stage.
Did he turn the ball over? Yes or no? Wait, you're talking about Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt about it. But he was the best quarterback on the field that day.
Until he wasn't.
I'm just
Because you can't say, oh, but he was still the best quarterback on the field. Because guess what? If QBs are a win stat, then QB's got to be a loss stat. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
No doubt. But what I just say, you can still ball out in a loss, and I will not just kill you for it.
But then he had the turnover to lose the game in a one possession game, right? The same thing you're killing.
Actually, there was a flag at the end of that game that pretty much ended that game. That's exactly what happened. Am I lying? Am I lying? Was that a flag?
And we got Rashad McCants from out the mud.
That's not even funny. You missed. We got
Rashad McCants from out the mud.
I'm telling the truth. Rashad McCants and what I just said is two different things. So you can try to be funny all you want to, but I'm not being funny. Was it not a questionable flag at the end of that game that finished?
Okay, so then Joe Burrow should have a Super Bowl because he got a questionable flag and he outplayed Stafford in that Super Bowl.
There was no flag.
It was
the flag on Logan Wilson that gave them an extra
game. I think somebody last played the game, the incompletion. That's what they're talking about.
But that's what gave the Rams the touchdown to go ahead. So again, a questionable flag. So then we can play that if game.
I'm not trying to play the if game. You brought up the flag.
You brought up the flag
because you said the fumble is what lost that game. I'm telling you that at the end of that game on the biggest stage, there's not a questionable flag. Yes or no? Yes or no? That's all I want to know.
But that's my point. You brought up the questionable flag. So if we gonna do that, we can bring in a whole bunch of questionable stuff that happened to other people.
Okay, cool.
We can talk about Matt Stafford shouldn't even have been in the Super Bowl because he threw a pick to end that game, but it didn't happen. So again, you talking about ifs, but then you want to talk about wins, but then you don't want to give people the credit for the losses. But so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about with your inconsistency. That's all.
There's no inconsistency. I've been consistent this whole time. I'm consistent with. The problem is y'all don't care. Really, the thin line that really makes us on two opposite sides is that y'all do not value QB wins. I do. That's really what the main problem is.
I would allow you to value QB wins if you wasn't just trying to skirt a loss. Like if you wasn't trying to make excuses for the losses and say, "Oh, but you played good." No, because you lost. It don't matter if you can't have it you can't have it both ways. You can't be, "Oh, I'm a QB wins guy," but if you play good in the loss, it's okay.
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said that because this is why I don't value QB wins is one thing because it's things that I've been telling you and the things that I've been telling you about why I don't consider it a QB win. You tried to use that as your argument this year. For example, I tried to tell you QBs don't go against each other. It's a made up media manipulation thing about QB versus QB. You tried to argue me down about QB versus QBs. QBs goes against QB. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Did you try to argue me down about QBs going against QBs? Yes or no?
I said that.
It's a yes or no.
That is a main topic. We talk about quarterbacks.
Main topic, right? Main topic, right? So when you want to highlight Drake May, when we was on the Drake May train or playoff, you specifically highlighted the defenses that he went against.
Yep. 100%.
That's what I've been trying to tell you about QB versus QB matchups. Is they don't go against the other QB, they go against the defenses. So you try to make it seem like you didn't understand what I was talking about then, but when it was time to prop up your guy Drake May, you brought up all the defense that he went against. Am I right or wrong here?
No, you are right, but I think you also.
I'm not missing anything, brother. That's what you did.
No. When you brought up QB versus QB is not really, that's. I'm telling you that matters. People do look at that. If Tom Brady goes against Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry, Tom Brady and Mahomes, people are going to use that as a way to elevate Brady forever in the Mahomes and Brady debate. I beat you more than you beat me. I beat you on the biggest stage. People are going to value that. Jalen Hurts outperforming Mahomes in 2 Super Bowl games. Yes, he lost one and won one. I got it. But he's the best quarterback on the field in both games.
But he's not 2-0.
Something. What?
But if it's QB wins, he's not 2-0.
How does that not mean? I did not say QB wins is the only thing. That's not the only thing that I'm talking about when I say just QB wins is a part of it. It's a part of it. And I value
picking and choosing.
The other part,
that's not picking and choosing.
It is picking and choosing because specifically when you gave your QB wins definition, when you was propping up Sam Darnold, you said, and I quote, "We got to stop acting like these QBs got to put the team on their back and win. We got to make it seem you did say no QBs winning by themselves, right? They need help, right?"
That was the argument.
Hold
Go ahead.
Is that what you said about when you said? Because you said I'm a QB wins guy, but we
Yes,
got to
no doubt.
we got to stop acting like QBs are out here carrying teams on their back. They need help. They need things to go their way. Am I quoting you right?
Yes, the context of me saying that was for
It's
people
because
that
what?
was not giving
Sam Darnold credit.
Sam Darnold credit for the Super Bowl run. Nobody's giving Sam Darnold credit because they're saying he had a great team around him. Same people that don't give Jalen Hurts credit for his Super Bowl run. I'm saying no quarterback is taking bad teams to the Super Bowl, which is why we always say Joe Burrow doesn't have an O-line or a defense. If he did have an O-line or defense, we expect him to go to the Super Bowl, right? But we're making excuses for him. But then on the flip side, we say
Who's making
Sam
excuses
Darnold,
for him?
We actually
that's making
penalized him.
excuses.
Who's making excuses for Joe Burrow?
No, it's not. It's excuse. We're excusing why he hasn't been in the playoffs. We're excusing why he hasn't been back.
No,
to the
we're
Super Bowl.
not. You literally dropped him in your ranking. I dropped him in my ranking. Hill dropped him in his ranking, and a whole bunch of people dropped him in their ranking. How is that excusing him?
How in one breath can we say Jalen Hurts is successful because he has an O-line and a defense? Then in one breath say Joe Burrow is not successful because he doesn't have an O-line and doesn't have a defense, and disrespect Jay Hurts, but we use that to build up Joe Burrow.
Hold on, wait, hold on, but wait, because see, now you're starting to conflate things. Because I never said that anything about success. I said Joe Burrow. I will. Jalen Hurts is not a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts is not a better quarterback than Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Is Jalen Hurts a better quarterback than Joe Burrow?
If you call it talent for talent, I'm no, because passing the ball, Joe Burrow is a big gap. Jalen Hurts is a better runner.
And when I gave you my list, I said at playing quarterback, didn't I say these are the best quarterbacks to me? Because I said wins ain't a QB stat to me. So again, I'm not but that's my point. Also, when you started giving me those accolades, I'm like, I'm naming elite quarterbacks, regardless of what happens, what people vote you for.
People vote you for something because you did something. So don't just say people voted you for it. He had to have done something to be voted for that.
He had a good season. He had a good season. He had a good season, but he's not an elite quarterback.
Well, you just proved my point. That's where we disagree. The QB wins and the accolades mean something to me. It don't mean nothing to you. What you're saying is if we just took away all the stats, all the accolades, and said your best 10 quarterbacks, then my list is different. My list is different. But when I say top 10 quarterbacks, you got to produce. That's my whole argument. You have to be able to produce. You can't just be out there.
Right. So you can't go out there at so again, this is what I'm saying. Like, you have to produce. But yes, I understand. But you're the wins, that ain't just you. Because we've seen him win without doing anything.
I go to the highest level when I don't hold QB wins at such a high clip than you do. It's the reason why the Chiefs have been winning so many one-possession games, right?
Yes.
Because their defense is definitely keeping them in the games, right?
No doubt about it, yep.
So, the reason why Mahomes gets some of the credit, because he's going out there and, some of those games, they're finding a way to win those games. He's going out there and scoring, putting them in position to get field goals and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a reason why these are still close games. And you can play ass. Your offense cannot produce the majority of the game, and then you can find a way. So when it comes to the credit that we're giving to, I'm not just about to sit here and just say, oh man, they got Mahomes and that's it. You know what I'm saying? He's just the guy. I'm also giving the credit to where it's also deserved. That's why the quarterback wins thing is definitely not a.
But it is. You just said that they're squeaking by in these close possession games.
I didn't say they were squeaking by. I didn't say squeaking by.
You said they're winning these one possession games. And you said the offense cannot produce a majority of the game, and then Mahomes finds a way at the end, right?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes
and I agree with you because that's been kind of the case over the past couple of years for Mahomes. He's not putting up these crazy, like we talked about how Mahomes, it looks like he's declining in terms of numbers, but he's still finding ways to win games, right? Mm-hmm. So I use that example, and then I use the Lamar example I just gave y'all. This is why I say QB wins it's a stat and it's a skill, because in those one possession games, those low scoring games, Mahomes not going to lose it. You have to beat him. With Lamar in that 17-10 game, he lost that game. That's my whole point.
And the only reason I didn't rebuttal about the Lamar thing, because you're gonna take it as an excuse. If Zay Flowers doesn't fumble at the goal line, see, See now, see
Oh my
if
God.
Zay Flowers doesn't
I've heard
fumble
the
though,
same. Yes, I've heard the same thing about Mark Andrews. If he catch that ball, then what? Right?
that's a key factor though.
Those are
That plays
factors.
hold on. That plays into the context of just of how you
It's the
criticize
same.
him
It's the
such
same way you
to the
brought
highest
up
level.
the that ghost flag. So I'm saying you get to bring up the what ifs, but then when somebody else bring it, you want to like.
If in that same game where Zay Flowers had the fumble, a quarterback that is not known for turning the ball over. What's one of the best things about Lamar? He does not turn the ball over right in the regular season. We always talk about it.
Sure.
You turn the ball over twice.
He had. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending him like he like it wasn't his fault. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the criticism of how you trying to, with so much brass in your voice is about it. It's like, hold on now. We can look at it a different way and put some context in it. These one possession games, he still put this team on his back and got them in position to possibly win this game. It wasn't just like he was just out there just playing just so ass like you trying to make it seem like they was in position. You feel what I'm saying?
Because if you want to say, oh, it's
The ball
a skill,
just didn't bounce their way.
because you can't say, oh, it's a skill, because he puts themselves in position to win these one possession games. Winning this one possession game, they were in position to win. You talk about, oh, I hear, if Mark Andrews just catches the ball, well, yeah, even with those turnovers, he still put them in a position to win the game, right?
If there's no turnovers,
You can't, you can't do that, because again,
Yes,
you talk about
turnovers happen, bro.
Turnovers happen.
No, it don't.
Yes, they do.
Sam Darnold did not turn the ball over once.
He's the first to ever do it.
Hold on. This year, what did he do the year before that?
Sam Darnold?
Yes.
No doubt. He wet the bed in the first round. No, 100%. 100%. But then this year, he's the
only quarterback to ever do that.
And kudos to him. I'm giving.
That's a great run. Kudos. But turnovers is a part of the game. But you talk about, oh, he had himself in the position to win. They put themselves in the position to win. It happens.
You did not. If this is a quarterback, So really,
So when Matthew Stafford threw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
Okay. What about it? Go ahead. What about it?
They won that game still. He got outplayed. But it wasn't just him. It wasn't just him.
No, it wasn't. That's why he didn't win Super Bowl MVP, because he was not the best player on his team that day. 100%. Cooper Kupp won it for a reason. Stafford did not win the Super Bowl.
Who was getting Cooper Kupp the ball, man?
But you threw 2 interceptions in the game, so you can't be Super Bowl MVP. You can't be valuable if you was hurting me.
But he put them in. He still put them in position to win, and he's in your top 5.
Hey, we watched that Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
We watched this year, this Super Bowl, right?
This past Super Bowl, yes.
Sam Darnold played an amazing game. I'm not taking nothing away from Sam Darnold. I've been champion Sam Darnold all year, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Gonzalez dropped 2 interceptions.
He did. I think they had multiple opportunities to get interceptions early in that game too.
And sometimes you just drop
the ball. And that's what we're saying. Like I said, like Matthew Stafford wasn't even supposed to be in that Super Bowl. But it just happens. Turnovers happen. You still in position to win the game.
Because at the 49, because the ball hit the boy right in the chest. Funny thing, it hit him right in his chest, right?
Yes.
Dropped the pick. That same week, I know you brought up Dak in the Packers game, right? And he threw the pick 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love threw that same exact. No. Who was it? Brock Purdy threw that same exact nasty pass during that game. Quarterback dropped it. Same person dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
They lost. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like you said, sometimes this shit just happen. Like you say, we can stat sheet, stuff, talk about it all the time. Like I said, and we can talk about we can also add context to this joint as well. Like I said, some of these rebuttals that I didn't want to give because once again, it's going to sound like an excuse that I'm trying to make, but I'm not making any excuse. I let you talk about that, about the interception. I can explain those mishaps. I can explain those interceptions. I can explain all that. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't want to hear it, you don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. You know, I mean,
and everything y'all just said is true. There's been games where Mahomes won the game and he threw should have been a pick and they dropped it. That happens 100%.
it's games that he turned the ball over and won the game.
Yes, but at the end of that game, when I see that you lost a 1-possession game and you threw 2 interceptions, I have to say, if you don't throw those 2 interceptions, I'm quite sure you win that game. That is fair, correct?
No, because people have 2 interceptions and still win 1-possession games.
I can say it's how you say it. Because how you saying it here, I ain't saying you like scared of me, because I mean, but how you saying it here, it damn sure ain't the same way how you and Jared was talking on y'all joint. Y'all talking like Dak was out here playing like CJ Stroud, and he ain't never had one of those games like that.
No, not to that extent. And that to me ain't really a flex. So CJ Stroud, like we talk about how bad he played, he's at the end of the spectrum when it comes to bad. Dak played bad, but not as bad as CJ, no doubt about it. But
no. He played bad in multiple playoff games and had more playoff, because once again, you plastered that stat on one of your posts.
On Dre video?
That CJ
Stroud wins, right?
Yeah, more than that. You made sure that you posted that. It wasn't no accident. You did it on purpose.
If you ain't hear me during the video, I said, oh, my bad. My phone doing something crazy. That was an accident.
Well, but who we fooling?
Yeah,
bro?
you was not getting that off here.
That's what I said.
Lamar and Dak 3 wins popped up, and I even said in the video, that was not supposed to happen.
Exactly. You knew what you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing. And like you said, if you want to bring up the stats about CJ Stroud and how he won his games, it's a little funny in the light. That's why I don't hold QB wins that high.
That's cool.
Hey, that same year that you brought up Jalen Hurts and the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, they went against Daniel Jones.
Right? In the first round, right?
And then you went against Josh Johnson when Christian McCaffrey almost played quarterback that game. That's how you got to the Super Bowl.
That's factual.
You know what I'm saying? But he got those wins though. No but once again, but my quarterback got to go against people that's going to the Super Bowl. That's who he got to go against. He don't get those luxuries of going against Josh Johnson, Daniel Jones.
And he also beat Matthew Stafford last year. But that's neither here nor there. I understand where the conflict is, and that's why I'm cool with it. I'm cool with us agreeing to disagree, because on one end there is a QB wins. I'm favoring that, and on one end y'all are not, and it's because of the variables that y'all brought up. What y'all are saying is not crazy, but I'm telling y'all, I am going to go with guys that get the job done. And not guys that are going to, and mind you, these quarterbacks that I'm bashing, they're still top 10, because at some point, stats and your ceiling, like your best game, all of that matters. But when we get to that 6 and we get to that 5, that's where I separate the guys, because for the most part, they all got the same stats, accolades for the most part, but there's some there's some inefficiency there that I can point at to say why Lamar's 5 and not where y'all put him at 3 or whatever.
I ain't mad. Like I said, all I want is consistent logic. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
I swear I'm being consistent. Y'all said I'm bringing up what ifs. The only what if I said was if that flag was not thrown at the end of the Chiefs game. That's the only one I said. If you say I'm a what if guy, that means I'm consistently saying what if. I said one thing and y'all said I'm being inconsistent.
Well, I brought up the inconsistency about your definition about the QB wins. That you got to have you got to just think about that, and I ain't gonna tell you change your mind, because of course you ain't gonna change your mind right now. I just want you to think about that. I just want you to give you my credit, because I told you. I told you this.
Tell me nothing. He had a double.
I told you this.
A double-digit win season, won the division, lost in the playoffs. That's not a terrible year. You say they're gonna get exposed, like, oh, they about to get exposed. They gonna be terrible this year. No, that's not what happened.
No, I didn't say they was gonna be terrible. I also said
You said he, right?
If he's considered in an elite category, because you had him in an elite category. Yep. That was terrible. Bro, multiple games with no yards in the second half, that's ass.
And he's still in the same boat as Josh Allen when it comes to stats, which is if he don't play bad them halves, guess what? He's above him.
But he played bad those halves.
He did, and I acknowledge that. I said this year, Jalen Hurts he has not been his best this year.
And Josh Allen got the same criticism. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Like just because we wasn't recording, Josh Allen was getting that same criticism that he would have got. You know what I'm saying? Off the rip, I would criticize because nobody's exempt for criticism. That's the thing about it with me.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
You in particular, and you might have had Jalen Hurts at number 3 on your ranking last year. You had him in the elite category.
Yeah,
and for him to have multiple games, more than 2 of 9 of less than 11 yards, less than 15 yards for the second half, and you out there trying, you playing the whole game, you ain't injured. That's ass, bro. We're not allowing that from nobody. Like, come on now. You're not.
And once again, I said, and you can ask my little brother. I swear to God, I'm sitting here scratching my head like, what is happening? But when you factor in that there has been a problem at OC the entire year, y'all acting like y'all don't know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Like, I can't because I can't allow you. Maybe next year you can get this off, but this year in particular, ain't no way in hell I'm allowing you in particular to get that off. Because once again, like we tried to tell you, hey, bro, AJ Brown was reading books last year on the sideline.
He's a diva. Period. Point blank. He got to go. I've been saying that. He got to go.
So Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith are divas and got to go too, because they were saying the same thing.
Clearly, are they reading books on the sideline? They not going to the extreme. AJ Brown. Are they on Twitch saying that if you drafted me in fantasy, don't start me because I don't? Are they doing that? Sure, they might say because if teams are struggling in a certain area, everybody can comment on it. No doubt about it. But AJ Brown's going to the extreme with it, which is why the cameras were on him. Everybody this year has said once upon a time our offense is struggling in this area. But AJ is going above and beyond to let it be known that we're struggling in this area, basically pointing the finger at Jalen Hurts. That's why the camera's on him. So yes, he is a diva. Devontae and Dallas are not, and I want AJ gone. Ben voiced that.
But that's fine. But like I said, what I won't allow for you to do, but like I said, is those games where he didn't play so well and you wanted to champion Jalen Hurts, so he just a winner, he just this and that, and other factors were the case. And then once they lose, it was you wanted to break up everybody else before it came to Hurts. I'm like, nah, give me that same Hurts energy. That's all I wanted. But like I said, the season is over. You know what I'm saying? The season is over, and we can move on from that. But like I said, your man's got exposed. They wasn't making it up.
I wouldn't say exposed. I wouldn't use the word exposed.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't.
I don't think you should either use the word exposed. I think that's a little harsh. That's a little too deep. Exposed. Hey, like that.
Hey, Philly media was asking for Tanner McKee to play.
Hey, if y'all want Tanner McKee to play, hey, by all means, put him in the game and see what happens. That's all I got to say.
Same thing they said when they was about to put Jalen Hurts in,
and what happened?
Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be just some crazy like, oh, he's somebody that's irreplaceable, but we'll see if Tanner McKee plays.
If they let him say something, if Jay Hurts were to somehow get traded or let go, then that's just blasphemy. It's blasphemy because it's not him. You won a Super Bowl with him, been to 2 with him. Clearly, he's not the problem. Clearly, I'm just saying. Let me leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Foles won the Super Bowl too.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, and Eli Manning. Well, I know where you're going with this, but as I said, and y'all keep trying to poo-poo on it.
No, you said it. They were never all pro.
They wasn't two missed games from being an MVP. I'm just saying it's not the case.
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Yeah, but you say team all pro because he missed those 2 games. You don't miss 2 games, first team all pro, and he's MVP. But
I mean Dak got some all pros too, and almost won an MVP too.
No doubt about it. But Dak ain't been to the championship game. Every quarterback ahead of him has been.
I know he can't win a game. I mean, he don't have a game where he won a game when he threw for 112 yards.
Hey, can't win a game throwing picks. I'm just saying.
Hey, can't win a game with 112 yards either.
Okay, that's how
because that means we ain't really need you.
Okay, all right, calm down. You go, y'all go. I feel like y'all just, y'all can have y'all's dislike of Jay Hurts. I understand that, but y'all take.
I don't have.
But the 112 yards was Sam Darnold.
What you trying to say?
They didn't need him. Go out there and just, hey, don't mess this up.
And that's what some quarterbacks can't do. That is exactly what I've been trying to say this whole time. Some quarterbacks can't do that. Lamar can't go out there and not mess it up. That's my biggest argument
Right.
against him.
No, Lamar
Dak
can't.
Prescott
Lamar
can't
can't go out there
not
and
mess
do
it up.
something because they don't need him. They need him.
They needed to play that same Triple Crown year. Hold on, that same Triple Crown defense that you talked about. Chiefs went immediately got that 14-point lead. They got that 14-point lead before the interception came. That's that same Triple Crown defense. Now I get it.
Against Dallas, right?
No. I'm talking about the Ravens that same year. That year they lost to the
Chiefs.
14.
Okay.
They immediately went up 14 on that Triple Crown defense.
Yeah, and I held you to 3 points the rest of the game. 14.
But
you have to get me.
Hold up. They immediately went up 14 on their defense, right?
Cool.
Then they took and once again we watched the game. They took the gas off of it. They like, let's just get out this game.
Because they know Lamar can't get in it.
They didn't play the game because they didn't know, but it wasn't. They was trying to get about the game.
Because again, if Zay Flowers scores that touchdown, they gotta ramp the shit back up.
Don't mess this up.
And you just said it. How we gonna do that?
We're talking about we're talking about in the scale of the game. We're just talking about
you just said if he don't fumble the ball, but then a couple seconds ago you said I'm talking about ifs.
Because we're talking about the Chiefs were able to take their foot off the gas, and you said because they knew Lamar couldn't get them back in the game. But so that's what I'm saying. That touchdown has them back in the game, and it's a whole different game. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not absolving him from losing the game. I'm talking about the Chiefs were able to they were able to take the air out of the ball and make that game short. And then you said because they knew that Lamar couldn't get them in the game, that touchdown puts them in the game.
Yep, and when it was in the red zone and Lamar threw the pick in the triple coverage, so we watched the game, right? If they don't throw that pick, that's a field goal. It's a different game. But hey, here's what it is. We're gonna agree or disagree.
All right, I gotta go.
Pick in the triple coverage, y'all excusing that?
I didn't excuse it.
Nobody said anything about excusing it. That's the thing.
Yes, you are. You're excusing it.
I never even brought up the field. I never even brought up the interception. So how am I excusing it?
Exactly. You need to. When we talk about context of the game, you have to bring that up because that happened. That took 3 points, at least 3 points off the board.
All I said was when you said they knew Lamar couldn't get them back in the game, I brought you to a point that they would have been in the game. I never said that Lamar doesn't have to bear any brunt for any of those turnovers. He lost that game was a loss. That's what you're failing to realize. I'm not absolving any of that play, but what I'm saying is you on the other side of the coin just be like, oh, won the game. Lost the game. It's so matter of fact. But then, like we said, certain players, they need to be able to make these plays. They can't just hand the ball off and not put the ball into, and try and make these things happen because certain quarterbacks don't have that luxury to just go out there and be like, hey, don't lose us the game. Some quarterbacks have to go win the game.
Anything you guys say?
I'm gonna let AJ go. I'm gonna just let you answer this question right here, though. You take the Eagles defense away, it hurts Tebow.
Wait, it hurts what? I can't see it. Take the Eagles defense away and hurts is Tebow.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Hey, I'm like comments like that. I don't even think it's worth responding because Tebow, once again, was Tebow ever in an MVP conversation? Was Tebow ever an all-pro player? And that goes to show me that people really don't care about that stuff. Y'all really don't care about, Tebow's ceiling clearly can't touch Jalen Hurts. So to even put Tebow and Jalen Hurts in the same conversation, that's just crazy to me. Which is like when you said Trent Dilfer, I didn't address it in that moment, but it's the same thing. Like, why are we comparing?
You had the rebuttal for that, and I didn't say anything out.
No. I'm talking to the dude that commented. I'm saying for example, Trent Dilfer. Yeah.
Just saying.
People gonna hey, what we say earlier? Or we before we start the pod. People gonna disagree, man. And hey, it is what I'm trying to steer you in the right direction, but some people don't want to be stirred.
I like I said, man. Like I said, I wish my quarterback can have a game of 112 yards or 150 yards, and that's all it took for him to win the game.
I understand that argument. I wish
my because Dak ain't never had that.
There's no rebuttal against that at all. My only thing is, and my only rebuttal against that is in the situation Jalen Hurts is in. And that Lamar team that I keep bringing up was also number 1 in rushing. So we talk about like this year when people were trying to
That
argue
game
that
was
Josh
bad.
Allen. Go ahead.
That game was bad. Like they had that was the opportunity for them to win that game. Like I'm not taking nothing away from that. That was the game, like I said. But I'm not about to sit here and put like I said that I'm not giving him the same smoke for losing to the Bills.
The same, it's not the same smoke. I wouldn't say the same smoke, no, but it's still some smoke to be given because of, like I said, you're an MVP quarterback. You're not, Sam Darnold going to playoffs and throw 2 picks or have an interception and a fumble. I'm not really killing him for it because the Sam Darnold expectation is not up here. But Lamar, you're dominating in the regular season, and I clearly see a drop off in the postseason. Like that's my only thing with Lamar. And a couple seconds ago, you said I wish my quarterback can have 112 yards and win the game. A lot of QBs have been in good situations, but could not take care of the football. And for example, this year with Buffalo, Josh Allen,
he wasn't in a good situation. Wasn't in a good situation though. Like he was if he does what?
If that turnover before halftime, to me,
was stupid.
Hurt them a lot. And it was like a dumbfounded turnover. If you don't have that turnover, I am almost quite sure there's a different in an AFC Championship game. I think that turnover right there kind of, because the Brandon Cooks interception, I mean, it's a turnover, no doubt about it. But that should have been a catch if we're keeping it a buck. But it was a turnover. You turn the ball, yes, it was an interception. But that ball hit Brandon Cooks right in the hands. He got the ball taken from him. But it's an interception.
But that's Brandon Cooks.
No, that is, and it's a whole nother conversation. But that's when I came out.
Now you want to have a whole nother conversation. That's one of Dak's interceptions because of Brandon Cooks. But you put that on Dak. You feel what I'm saying? But I didn't use that as a rebuttal because you would have thought that was an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
So yes, you're correct. That interception, I'm not saying take it off the stat sheet. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it is a turnover. I'm just saying what happened in the play. That's all I'm saying. But that fumble before halftime, that to me, is
inexcusable.
That to me what lost the game. Period. Point blank. I think that lost the game. Period.
Inexcusable.
Yeah. So I'm just saying some quarterbacks just can't. They get into good situations. Look, I think the Bills were up. I want to say, or they was still tied. They was up, and you fumble like that, and the Broncos get an easy field goal with a couple seconds left on the clock. I mean, that's game altering. And some quarterbacks don't do that, and that's the ones I praise. And then other quarterbacks do that. And those are the ones that I'm gonna hold accountable for. But
I will let you go. We posted bang left, but this is what you want. This is all your fault.
It's not my fault. Look.
Did you have Trevor Lawrence? Did you have Trevor Lawrence in your top 10?
Nah, no, negative. I don't.
That's crazy.
So that would be majority of that would be from this past year, right? Like majority of his reasons to be in the top 10 would be from this past year, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a logic guy based on the law. I'm gonna tell you the only part. I'm definitely about to get up out of here. But the only person I really had an issue with in your top 10, it was the logic that you gave with Brock Purdy. I'm not mad that you had Brock Purdy in your top 10. Cool, that's fine. It was the logic that you gave, and I'm like, hold on. You gave him some praise for something. I'm sitting there like, Mac Jones came in there and did the same exact thing that Brock Purdy did.
That's true.
And kept that team afloat. So that should have negated him specifically this year, especially with the injury that he had. That should have negated him on your list based off the criteria that you were given. That's the only issue.
I can respect that. No. And Mac Jones did have a good stretch. But at the end of that stretch, there was a moment when we said, okay, Brock, it's time for you. Like, Mac started off hot, no doubt about it. But them last couple games Mac played, we would people are saying, okay, this Mac Jones talk about him being a starter needs to stop. And when Brock Purdy came back, he showed that it's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't immediately just come back though and was lit though. He was still looking injured and he was looking like, all right, bro, all right, you not yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So like this whole year, like I said, like he a good quarterback, bro. I'm not about to sit here and diss him and all that. Like the same thing that you talk about that they tried to penalize Hurt for the weapons and the offensive play caller that he had. They tried to discredit Purdy and all that. But at the same time, you've seen other quarterbacks in this 49er situation never do what Purdy has done. So you got to give him some type of credit. You know,
that's my exact argument. You took the argument out of my mouth. That's what it is. People say, no doubt.
But we're gonna do this again. Probably link up in the all season. Tell your squad come together. Yeah.
Oh, you want us all? You want everybody?
I definitely got words for Jared. So I've been looking for Jared as for and I think I might I don't owe Rel an apology, but I might give him a little.
For what? What happened?
I think I laughed at him about Tyler Shuck. I'm not sure.
We all did. Don't worry about it. We all did.
Oh, yeah. So, but I think I specifically was like laughing at the take at the post, or it might have been his Saints. He might have said something about the Saints. He was high on the Saints or something. It was something that he said. It was some Saints related. So I might owe him a little apology right then and there.
No doubt. With Rail, he is such a Saints fan that sometimes you don't know if he's saying it logically or if he's saying it because he's a Saints fan. Like Tyler Shuck, there was no reason to have faith in Tyler Shuck, but Rail brought up the fact that he played baseball in high school and said, "Oh, he got that pitcher's arm. He got that pitch." Like that to me, you're a crazy fan. But then he goes and he's semi-successful. You're like, "Oh, Rail had a point." You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to judge with him if he's just a diehard Saints or if he got some logic with the takes though. So
I mean, it's fans, man. Fans is. I mean. You thought Aaron Rodgers had a good year this year, man, but man.
If we watch this season game by game.
Yeah, we watch. And come on now.
There is Arthur Smith got a lot of the blame. The O-line to me was inconsistent. The run game was not consistent. And you have DK Metcalf and a bunch of others. I mean, you would expect Aaron Rodgers to overcome that, right? But at this age, he couldn't. And we saw Aaron Rodgers have flashes. Now we saw him have flashes.
He had flashes, but that was his thing.
Yeah, it wasn't sustainable because of the situation he was in, I believe. That's why this year I've given us no chance. We will have no chance of making the playoffs this year. Go ahead and book us for next year's draft because it's over. We're done. Period. So I'm not biased. We're cooked. Absolutely cooked.
That is biased, the reason why you said it, but we're going to get it.
No. You about to say, I know why you said that. No, that's not. I swear that's not.
Why I said it?
You said because Mike Tomlin.
Yes, that's exactly why. That's the only reason why.
You said that.
That's why. Now you ain't got no chance. It's the same exact damn team, but now all of a sudden since Tomlin out here, they just get ready for the draft. It's just that damn bad because Tomlin out here. I get it, man. Ride for your guy. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you, man.
Watch what I am ready for these Steelers fans to get what they've been asking for. Y'all been wanting a guy that has been keeping a average team to above average standards and above average expectations. And now he's gone. So let's see what happens. It's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted him fired, but of course he left on his own terms. And hey, let's see what happens. I think it's gonna go downhill, but that's just me.
As y'all know, man, this is 3-Man Weave. Y'all know y'all catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. That's our guy, Jay Bess. Catch him at Straight to the Point Podcast on everything. It's Straight to the Point Podcast. Jay Bess on Instagram. And we out, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
You know it.